Chapter 1179. A day passed by very quickly. Long Yu was about to fight against the Golden Moon Demon Clan's patriarch's son, Ruo Tianqin. This guy's stature looked very small and thin. His appearance was nothing special, and his eyes were only the size of mung beans. He was very ugly. This made Long Yu even more wary of this person. That was because the monstrous tribe could control their appearance when they transformed into a human for the first time. This guy had purposely made himself so ugly. There must be something special about him. The other experts of the monstrous tribe were all exceptionally handsome and charming. Only this person was like a speck of green in a sea of flowers. It was impossible not to notice him. Little brother Long, you have to be careful. This kid doesn't look like much, but we know too little about him. Red Oriole said to Long Yu worriedly when they were about to enter the arena. I'll be careful. Long Yu nodded and said calmly. Seeing Long Yu's current expression, Red Oriole felt a sense of admiration. This brat had obtained 2 consecutive victories, yet he didn't have the slightest bit of arrogance. This sort of mentality was truly rare amongst the youths. Even if it was her younger brother, the blood monstrous tribe's Prince Red Monarch, he would also be a little restless after winning so many battles. In this regard, Long Yu was doing quite well. And this also made Red Oriole admire Long Yu more and more. Long Yu calmly headed into the void. After a day's rest, he had adjusted his body to its peak condition. In the realm of 9 netherworlds, he had also obtained some interesting things from Shimen Duantian's broken top-grade unbounded sword battle weapon. It was already very difficult to find out where that long sword had been inherited from. However, Long Yu had managed to obtain the cultivation method of 3 sword techniques from it. The first 2 were the so-called heaven-severing sword that Shimen Duantian had displayed, and the other was the twin sword chi that had heavily injured Long Yu. In reality, that heaven-severing sword should be called single-origin sword chi, which corresponded with the twin sword chi. From 1 to 2, it would become increasingly stronger. The third sword technique was called trifold sword chi. However, Long Yu had not been able to see the cultivation method of trifold sword chi. It was likely that Shimen Duantian had not comprehended it to this level. Origin sword chi, twin sword chi. These 2 sword techniques are quite powerful, especially twin sword chi. It has both control and killing effects. Even the pure world body cannot resist it. Very powerful. These 2 sword techniques were both unbounded martial techniques, but they were not complete. If one wanted to obtain the complete sword technique, one would have to continue comprehending the sword. In the past, Shimen Duantian's martial talent was not strong enough. Otherwise, if he had comprehended trifold sword chi, Long Yu would have died at his hands. These 2 sword techniques can be imparted to everyone in the realm of 9 spirits who practice sword mystic abilities. At the very least, their actual combat strength will be doubled. Long Yu was a little reluctant to give the sword to the white feather monstrous tribe. However, it was still in Long Yu's hands. When the time came to hand it back, he could think of a way to keep it by his side. In the air, Long Yu and Ruo Tianqin were facing each other. The demon cultivators of the Black Scale Demon Clan, the White Feather Demon Clan, the Golden Moon Demon Clan, and the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan all surrounded the 2 of them, leaving an area with a circumference of 100 miles for the 2 of them to fight. Tianqin, watch out for your own safety. If you feel like you can't handle it, you must concede. The Golden Moon monstrous tribe's clan chief shouted to his son from afar. Don't worry, father. I'm still young, I don't want to die yet. Ruo Tianqin shook his head as he spoke. He seemed to be in a daze, and there was a hint of fear in his eyes, as if he was afraid of this duel. However, how could Long Yu be fooled by his opponent's appearance? His acting skills are not bad, but it's a pity that he can't fool me. This kid is still too inexperienced if he wants to pretend to be a pig to eat the tiger. Long Yu thought to himself. When he reached the arena, he did not let his guard down at all. In that case, Brother Mountain Ghost, why don't you let me have one move first? Anyway, our Golden Moon monstrous tribe doesn't have any deep grudges with you. There's no need for us to fight to the death. Ruo Tianqin said to Long Yu weakly, if I realize that I'm really no match for you, I'll definitely concede. When that happens, don't hit me again. Cut the crap. Come on. Long Yu said indifferently. He did not respond to his opponent's words at all. Instead, he raised his hand and directly used his first mystique, Hand of Nine Nether. 5 eerie white bone arms drilled out of the void at the same time, and instantly enveloped Ruo Tianqin. The Hand of Nine Nether had the power to corrode the opponent's body. Now, Long Yu did not use the Nine Nether divine text that contained the revelation level, because it was just a test. There was no need to use his full strength. The skinny kid, Ruo Tianqin, was slightly plump. Faced with the Hand of Nine Nether that Long Yu had directly used, a look of panic appeared on his face. The golden divine text on his body instantly burst out, forming a layer of golden light barrier. This layer of golden light barrier did not look strong. It only lasted for a moment before it was penetrated by the 5 eerie white bone arms, and the golden light barrier was completely shattered. Of course, the 5 eerie white bone arms were also weakened a lot. However, they still had some strength left, and continued to envelop Ruo Tianqin. One of the white bone arms directly grabbed Ruo Tianqin's divine body. Endless Nine Nether divine text began to corrode Ruo Tianqin's body. This kid seems really weak. If he's still pretending, then his acting skills are too good. Long Yu frowned slightly. He could feel that his Nine Nether divine text had already corroded Ruo Tianqin's body. If this continued, this kid would definitely die without a burial place in less than half an hour. But it was also at this moment that Long Yu suddenly felt a trace of danger in his heart, causing all the hair on his body to stand on end. Danger. Long Yu subconsciously felt that danger was approaching. Without thinking, he directly activated the Book of Shadows mystique and completely turned himself into nothingness. In the next moment, a golden light suddenly exploded where Long Yu was. A terrifying destructive power instantly erupted, forming a violent vortex of divine text. With such a powerful explosion of divine text, if Long Yu did not turn himself into nothingness, he would at least be seriously injured by the explosion even with his physical body. What made Long Yu feel the most danger was that when his opponent's golden divine runes exploded, he didn't sense anything at all. Even with the balanced control secret art, he didn't sense any power at all where he was. In other words, the other party had sent that power to Long Yu's side in an instant, and then suddenly exploded. This method was simply unimaginable. One had to know that even if something was sent to Long Yu's side through the power of the spatial divine text, Long Yu would still be able to sense the fluctuations of space through balanced control. But now, he did not feel anything at all. Without any warning, the other party's fierce attack descended. If not for Long Yu's somewhat sharp perception of danger, he was afraid that he would have been seriously injured. Amazing, what kind of martial arts secret art is this? Could it be that this is the source of danger from this kid? As Long Yu thought to himself, his body that had turned into nothingness had quietly arrived near Ruo Tianqin, ready to launch a sneak attack. Logically speaking, if it was just this method, it would not be enough to make Long Yu feel danger. What was so special and mysterious about Ruo Tianqin? As Long Yu thought to himself, he directly mobilized the 9 Nether divine text in his body, condensing 5 9 Nether hunters with 9 Nether divine text, and then his body turned into nothingness again. Ruo Tianqin's ability was too strange, and Long Yu had no choice but to act cautiously. Therefore, he was prepared to let the 9 Nether hunters explore the way first. The 9 Nether hunters held 2 blades in their hands, and a total of 5 pitch-black hunters flew towards Ruo Tianqin, each launching a fierce attack. Whether it was the heart blade or the real blade, the strength of the 9 Nether hunters was beyond doubt. Among them, the heart blade 3 slashes could make the opponent fall into 3 layers of illusions, unable to extricate themselves. Now that 5-9 nether hunters attacked at the same time, there was no doubt that it was extremely terrifying. Even if it was Long Yu facing them, he would probably only be able to slightly resist them by relying on his world purity body. I want to see how this Ruo Tianqin will deal with these 5-9 nether hunters. Long Yu turned into nothingness and hid at the side. Now that he had activated the Book of Shadows, he could turn into nothingness for a very long time, so he was not worried about losing. Therefore, he was prepared to first figure out the strength of the other party. But in the next moment, something that shocked Long Yu happened again. Before the 5-9th nether hunters could even get close to Ruo Tianqin, golden light suddenly erupted from beneath his feet. The terrifying destructive force directly swept the 5-9th nether hunters into the vortex of divine characters, and they were actually annihilated in an instant. This method of exploding golden light is nothing. The key is that the method of hiding aura is too powerful. Long Yu's heart became more and more solemn. The other party was still in front of him, but Long Yu could not sense what kind of attack he would launch in advance. Fighting with Ruo Tianqin was really too dangerous. At this moment, Long Yu discovered that Ruo Tianqin's eyes were shining with a kind of golden light, which made his entire aura somewhat strange. What's going on with this kid? Long Yu thought to himself. He gritted his teeth and directly appeared behind Ruo Tianqin. He raised the dragon blood sacred painting, and a blood-colored spear shadow shot out, instantly shooting towards Ruo Tianqin. At this moment, the corners of Ruo Tianqin's mouth slightly curled up, and he looked like a completely different person from before. He only raised his hand slightly, and the golden light condensed into a golden barrier again, directly blocking the dragon blood sacred painting. Similarly, when facing the golden barrier, Long Yu still could not sense any energy fluctuations. Everything could be seen, but he could not feel it, as if it was an illusion. However, Long Yu was sure that it was not an illusion. It was just that the other party had a special method that could hide the aura of any divine text power that he used. Chapter 1180. I've finally forced it out. I just didn't expect it to be so fast. While Long Yu was feeling puzzled, the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's clan chief, who was standing among the crowd, had an extremely grave expression on his face. Among all the people present, only a single person knew exactly what sort of condition his son, Ruo Tianqin, was in. However, the clan chief of the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan would not reveal this information to the public. Otherwise, it would be detrimental to his son Ruo Tianqin. Yet now Ruo Tianqin seemed as if he'd become a completely different person. No matter what technique he executed, no one could sense his aura at all. It was like everything was just an image within the true spirit brand. However, Long Yu was very clearly aware that if he were to come into contact with those golden divine runes, then his current physical strength would definitely cause him to suffer a heavy injury. I wonder what kind of secret martial technique it is. It can actually conceal the aura of any of my techniques. Impressive. But I'm afraid it's not enough to deal with me, Long Yu. Long Yu was also quite interested in this. If he could obtain this method of concealing his strength and aura, then when he carried out assassinations in the future, it could be said that he would have a higher chance of success. There was almost no possibility of failure. In that case, I'll just attack. Long Yu decided to attack while concealing himself. He had the Book of Dark Shadows, so his opponent could not do anything to him if he concealed himself. As long as he could kill his opponent before his energy ran out, it would be fine. Long Yu had used the Book of Dark Shadows to turn into nothingness, which consumed a lot of energy. If there were no accidents, Long Yu could last for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. If he used up all the siphon totems in his body to recover his energy, he could last for an hour. Within that hour, his opponent would not be able to do anything to him. Let's try this move first. Long Yu secretly activated the Draconic sacred spring, an unending high-tier combat weapon. He had already fused with the Draconic sacred spring to the level of spirit channeling. With a single thought, he could activate the Draconic sacred spring. He did not need to spend too much effort on it. A light blue void-cutting blade silently formed, then appeared in Ruo Tianqin's body without any warning. Space-shattering strike. Kill. When Long Yu executed this move, he naturally couldn't transform into nothingness. Thus, when he executed this move, he immediately changed his position and transformed into nothingness once more. Sure enough, as soon as he used this technique and revealed himself, golden divine characters exploded where he had been. The terrifying power almost severed the void, and the power of the spatial divine characters was unable to penetrate the vortex formed by the exploding divine characters. Fortunately, Long Yu had directly changed his position. It was also at this time that the space-severing holy spring that had transformed into a sharp blade finally launched an attack. It automatically found the location of the demon core in Ruo Tianqin's body and instantly stabbed towards it. But suddenly Ruo Tianqin's entire body rapidly turned into a phantom. After being assassinated by the Draconic sacred spring, he actually dissipated. This Ruo Tianqin's figure was actually just an illusion. As expected, Long Yu felt a chill in his heart. The opponent had the ability to completely conceal the power of the divine characters, so it was only natural that he could use an illusion to deceive Long Yu. Even if he cultivated the balanced control secret art, he still couldn't see through the opponent's illusion. So now, if I want to defeat the opponent, the first thing I need to do is to find the opponent. Long Yu had a clear understanding of the current situation, and he knew what he needed to do. But for the other spectators, each of them fell into a fog, because whether it was Long Yu or Ruo Tianqin, both of them had disappeared. This was not the most important thing. Most importantly, even peak sovereign experts like Grandmaster Ho Zun and Shui Luo had a slight change in expression. This was because even experts at their level couldn't detect where Long Yu and Ruo Tianqin were at this moment. The power of the divine characters intertwined and exploded in the battlefield, but Long Yu and Ruo Tianqin's figures were completely hidden, and no one could understand what was going on. In the battles yesterday and the day before, regardless of whether it was the Royal Demon Water or Shiman Duantian's battle with Long Yu, all of them could be said to be extremely exciting. Everyone could see the brilliance in those battles. However, in today's battle, none of them could understand it at all. They were completely unable to guess what exactly was going on. Human race kid, you're quite something, to be able to fight me, the Golden Moon demonic forefather, for so long without losing. Interesting. At this moment, an old voice spread across the battlefield, and everyone was shocked. Golden Moon demonic forefather? What the hell was that? That's right, I'm the Golden Moon demonic forefather, a peak sovereign existence of the Golden Moon demonic clan 20,000 years ago. Because my soul's origin spirit hasn't been destroyed, I'm now in the body of this junior, Ruo Tianqin. I am him and he is me. The voice spoke like this, and it allowed everyone here to finally understand what was going on. The demonic forefather's origin spirit, it's actually the Golden Moon demonic clan's origin spirit. It's actually in the body of the patriarch's son. I see. No wonder Ruo Tianqin is so powerful that even our great sovereigns can't detect his location. However, why would the demonic forefather's origin spirit be in Ruo Tianqin's body? Isn't it obvious? He must be trying to show himself from behind the scenes. The origin spirit of an expert from 20,000 years ago has survived until now. I'm afraid he wants to lead the entire Golden Moon demonic clan again. At this moment, the expression of the Golden Moon demonic clan's clan leader changed slightly. The demonic forefather's origin spirit was finally revealed to everyone. This also meant that the old ancestor was really going to show himself. With the momentum from killing that human brat today, It's only natural that the demonic forefather's origin spirit wants to become the Golden Moon demonic clan's clan leader. However, with this, my son will have fewer chances to show himself, the Golden Moon demonic clan's clan leader thought to himself. His son's martial Dao talent had always been mediocre. However, he was still the clan leader's son, so he had sufficient cultivation resources and reached the Emperor Path mystical realm at the age of 20. However, from then on, when his son was worshipping the demonic forefather's origin spirit, he was accidentally invaded by the demonic forefather's origin spirit. From then on, his martial Dao talent became extremely good, and he was able to use many terrifying techniques. These were the accumulation of the demonic forefather's origin spirit 20,000 years ago. In the Golden Moon demonic clan that had declined, it was definitely an extremely powerful technique. The martial Dao secret technique that concealed the aura of the divine characters was one of the magical techniques mastered by the demonic forefather's origin spirit. Fine, it doesn't matter if my son doesn't want to see him. The key is that if the demonic forefather's origin spirit is willing to show himself, he will naturally bring many powerful techniques to the Golden Moon demonic clan, such as martial Dao secret technique. With the momentum from killing that human brat, the Golden Moon demonic clan will soon establish a leading position in Qi Ming Galaxy. When the Golden Moon demonic clan's clan leader thought of this, his eyes gradually revealed a fanatical look. He knew very well how much benefit the Golden Moon demonic clan would bring if the Golden Moon demonic clan became stronger. Putting everything else aside, the Blood demonic clan's current position in the Demon clan's territory was enough to understand everything. With the return of the demonic forefather's origin spirit, it would not be impossible for the Golden Moon demonic clan to unify the entire Qi Ming Galaxy. Because of this, when the demonic forefather's origin spirit's thoughts reached the ears of the surrounding people, it immediately caused a great disturbance. The Black Scale Monstrous Clan and the White Feather Monstrous Clan resided in Qi Ming Galaxy along with the Golden Moon demonic clan. Of course, they did not want to see the Golden Moon demonic clan rise. Therefore, to them, the appearance of the demonic forefather's origin spirit was definitely not a good thing. Since it's the demonic forefather's origin spirit's origin spirit, it'll be a piece of cake to defeat that human kid. What we have to consider now is not the human kid, but how we're going to get along with the Golden Moon demonic clan in the future. The clan leaders of the Black Scale Monstrous Clan and the White Feather Monstrous Clan shared the same thought. Most of the beast cultivators present were thinking about the future, as the appearance of the demonic forefather's origin spirit of the Golden Moon demonic clan would definitely change the overall situation of Qi Ming Galaxy. Qi Ming Galaxy was about to usher in a great change. However, they seemed to have forgotten one thing. That was, the changes that would occur in Qi Galaxy were all based on a single premise, and that was that the origin spirit of the demon ancestor that possessed Ruo Tianqin would be able to defeat and kill Long Yu in the battle before them. Everyone felt that the demonic forefather's origin spirit would definitely be able to kill Long Yu, but no one knew what would actually happen. This is bad. It's actually the demonic forefather's origin spirit of the Golden Moon demonic clan. Shueluo also heard the intent of the demonic forefather's origin spirit and said in a deep voice, "No wonder even I couldn't sense Ruo Tianqin's presence. Long Yu is in danger now. Even if it's the demonic forefather's origin spirit, I believe that Long Yu will have a way to deal with it." Red Oriole's expression turned grave. Although she was confident in Long Yu, the other party was the demonic forefather's origin spirit, a remnant soul of a powerful existence that lived more than 20,000 years ago. How much ancient knowledge did it possess, and how many strange martial arts secret techniques did it master? Divine ability techniques? It was simply unimaginable. Red Oriole was terrified at the thought of fighting such an opponent, and the one facing such an opponent was not her, but Long Yu. One had to know that Long Yu wasn't even in the ruler's secret realm. In terms of techniques and battle experience, how could Long Yu compare to an old monster from 20,000 years ago? Even so, Red Oriole still chose to believe in Long Yu. She believed that Long Yu would be able to defeat his opponent because she had seen Long Yu defeat many seemingly impossible opponents. From what she had heard from the Red Monarch, Long Yu fought against the Abyss race, then Long Yu fought against the Soul race, then Long Yu fought against 10 ruler secret realm experts from the Golden Flood Dragon race, and then 2 days ago, he defeated the 2 geniuses, Devil Resisting Water and Shiman Duantian. Along the way, Red Oriole had great confidence in Long Yu. Chapter 1181. It's the origin spirit of the Demon Patriarch. At this moment, even Master Ho Zun of the Demon Race Alliance wore a solemn expression. The appearance of the origin spirit of the Demon Patriarch was a major event for the entire demon race's territory. If it was handled properly, it would definitely improve the strength of the entire demon race. However, if it wasn't handled properly, it could also be a disaster for the demon race's territory. It seems like this human kid is going to lose this duel. Someone behind Master Ho Zun said with a smile. Someone behind Grandmaster Ho Zun said with a smile. For the people of the Demon Race Alliance, seeing the demon race defeating the human race geniuses was naturally a delightful sight. Only Master Ho Zun shook his head slowly. Although he didn't say anything, it was obvious that even he couldn't see through the final outcome of this duel. The thoughts of the origin spirit of the Demon Patriarch were naturally heard by Long Yu. Those 2 sentences immediately dispelled the doubts in Long Yu's mind. I see. This Ruo Tianqin actually has the origin spirit of the Demon Patriarch from 20,000 years ago in his body. No wonder his temperament changed so much. Interesting, an existence from 20,000 years ago is definitely not as old as the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor. I wonder how his means compare to the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor's. Long Yu thought to himself. After learning the truth, he knew that it was impossible for him to defeat the origin spirit of the Demon Patriarch with his own strength. Therefore, he had to use the means of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor. He had to survive today. If the ancient dragon skeleton tower had been fully restored to a supreme-grade unbounded combat weapon, Long Yu might have had an easier time winning. Unfortunately, the ancient dragon skeleton tower was not fully restored and was still a supreme-grade Archean combat weapon. If he used the Archean combat weapon in this situation, Long Yu could predict that the ancient dragon skeleton tower wouldn't be able to withstand it. Before it was fully restored, Long Yu didn't plan to use it. Therefore, the only means he could use to deal with the demon ancestor were the trump cards that he usually hid. It was impossible to deal with the demon ancestor's primordial spirit with ordinary means. After all, Red Oriole has already promised me that she can transfer all the living beings of Shin Wu world into her own little world. If that's the case, I won't be able to worry about the stability of the 9 Serenities realm during a moment of life and death. Long Yu thought to himself, it seems like I have to test the strength of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor's innate skills today. It was not that Long Yu thought highly of the other party. It was just that he could not detect Ruo Tianqin's location at all. The martial arts secret technique displayed by the demon ancestor's primordial spirit was too powerful. It was not inferior to the martial arts secret technique of the balanced control level. Since the other party was so good at concealing his strength, Long Yu had to be prepared for the other party's extraordinary strength. Therefore, the safest way was to use Dragon Emperor Jiuyou's innate mystiques to kill the other party in one fell swoop. First of all, I have to find out where he is. Long Yu had already made his battle plan. Of course, he first used Eye of Shadow and Balanced Control. But he still couldn't find the other party's location, so he had to use his last resort. If he couldn't find the other party, no matter how strong he was, it would be useless. So Jiuyou Dragon Emperor's innate thaumaturgy had to be used. Sea of Death Aura. Jiuyou Dragon Emperor's innate thaumaturgy, Sea of Death Aura. I've already grasped 80% of the 9 underworlds mark, so I can execute this move. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. His body appeared from the void of space and raised his hand. In the blink of an eye, an endless amount of translucent death aura poured out from the Nine Serenities realm. This death aura came from the Sea of Death aura around Shen Wu world. This was one of Jiyo Dragon Emperor's innate thaumaturgy, and now that Long Yu used it, it caused the Sea of Death aura around Shen Wu world to rumble. But Long Yu didn't care about that. He only knew that the rumbling of the Sea of Death aura wouldn't affect the living beings of Shen Wu world. That was enough. As for other effects, he couldn't predict them, nor did he have the time to think about them. Endless death aura poured out from the Nine Serenities realm, instantly spreading towards Long Yu. Inside this death aura, Long Yu's senses were magnified by over 100 times. So powerful! Inside the Sea of Death aura, my senses can be magnified by over 100 times, combined with balanced control. Any being hiding around me would have nowhere to hide. While Long Yu was thinking that, he really did find Ruo Tianqin's traces. At this moment, the skinny youth was quietly flying in circles around Long Yu. He was about to use some sort of technique to attack Long Yu, who had just appeared. This time, Long Yu easily saw through his opponent's technique. Right after Ruo Tianqin raised his hand, a golden ray shot straight towards Long Yu. As you can imagine, when this golden ray hits Long Yu or reaches a predetermined location, it will explode. This golden ray's aura was extremely weak. Even if Long Yu relied on the Sea of Death aura to increase his senses by over 100 times, he could only barely sense it. But that was enough. Since I know your location, it won't be that easy to deal with me. The corners of Long Yu's mouth curled up slightly. This difficult battle with the demonic ancestor's original spirit had finally begun. Feeling the attack of the golden ray, Long Yu's figure moved quickly. Relying on his unparalleled compatibility with the Nether Dragon Blade, his virtual soul directly performed void traversal and teleported Long Yu to another place nearby, avoiding this attack. Huh! This situation surprised the demonic ancestor's original spirit that had possessed Ruo Tianqin. This fog that is filled with the aura of death actually allowed you to find my traces? In that case, I'll disperse it. The demonic ancestor's original spirit had originally thought that Long Yu, this human brat, could not withstand a single blow. Although he had defeated the royal demon Water and Shiman Duantian in his eyes, he was still too inexperienced. One must know that he was a peak expert 20,000 years ago, and he could almost step into the demigod realm. Now that he had possessed Ruo Tianqin's body, he wanted to achieve the goal from 20,000 years ago, and that was to step into the demigod realm. With this goal in mind, he would definitely encounter many trash like Long Yu. However, when Long Yu displayed the Sea of Death aura and discovered his traces, the demonic ancestor's original spirit also felt that Long Yu's aura was different from that of ordinary human cultivators. This technique doesn't seem to be a technique of the human race. Instead, it seems to be a technique of the dragon race that has disappeared for a long time. It was worthy of being in existence from 20,000 years ago. The demon ancestor's original spirit immediately sensed the aura of the dragon clan. However, he wasn't sure. After all, the dragon clan rarely appeared 20,000 years ago. Not to mention now, there wasn't even a single dragon clan in sight. Therefore, he did not hesitate. Suddenly, 2 rays of golden light shot out from his eyes. These 2 rays of golden light carried a strong dispelling force, and he wanted to dispel the endless death aura nearby. However, he soon discovered that his dispelling method could not dispel the death aura. It seems that this human boy is indeed not ordinary. My dispelling technique is only Ruo Tianqin's innate technique. Although it is an Emperor Path technique, its effect is still limited. In that case, I'm afraid that this fog is not the boy's own technique. The demonic ancestor's original spirit guessed, and he was too lazy to care about the death aura. His eyes revealed a fierce light, and he was ready to kill Long Yu directly. "I'll let you have a taste of the long-lost martial arts secret technique of the Golden Moon Demon Clan, the Golden Moon God statue." The demonic ancestor's original spirit relied on Ruo Tianqin's body. Golden light appeared all over his body, and he was instantly turned into a golden statue-like existence. This statue had 6 arms, and each arm held a different weapon. There were 6 weapons in total. The 3 on the left and 3 on the right seemed to contain 2 different powers. This power is definitely not an ordinary divine text, but the power of the 5 elements of the absolute beginning. Long Yu looked at the Golden Moon God statue, and the 6 weapons in his opponent's hands exuded 2 different auras. His expression suddenly became solemn. This scene was directly seen by the demonic beasts outside, and they were all shocked. "It's the Golden Moon God statue." As expected, when the demonic ancestor's original spirit appeared, the secret technique of the Golden Moon God statue also appeared. The Golden Moon Demon Clan's super martial arts secret technique was said to have been lost more than 10,000 years ago. I didn't expect to see it now. It seems like the outcome of this duel has been decided. It's said that the Golden Moon God statue is a secret technique capable of both offense and defense. Its power is extremely terrifying. It would be great if I could learn this secret technique too. That's not impossible. Once the demonic ancestor's original spirit takes control of our Golden Moon Demon Clan, the Golden Moon God statue will definitely be taught to us. At that instant, the eyes of the people of the Golden Moon Demon Clan reddened. Their breathing and heartbeats almost stopped as they stared at the golden statue. That was a powerful secret technique that had been lost for more than 10,000 years in the Golden Moon Demon Clan. As for the people of the Black Qilin Beast Clan and the White Feather Beast Clan, their hearts sank upon seeing this. Even the Golden Moon God statue has appeared. Is the demonic ancestor's original spirit trying to intimidate us? It seems like Chime Galaxy is going to undergo a great change from today onward. Many people had the same thought. As for Long Yu, the Golden Moon deity statue had indeed given him an enormous amount of pressure. However, he couldn't back down now, nor could he admit defeat to his opponent. The only thing he could do was to advance forward bravely. "Let's try it out first." Long Yu raised his hand and unleashed the 9 Abyss God formation. 9 pitch-black space cracks instantly extended toward his opponent. Earth Spirit Control. At this moment, Ruo Tianqin, who had transformed into the Golden Moon God statue, raised his left hand. Suddenly, a powerful force surged out and condensed into the shape of a cube. In an instant, it blocked Long Yu's 9 Abyss Divine array and absorbed it. This is the primordial 5 elements, the power of Earth. Chapter 1182. The absolute beginning 5 elements was a power that surpassed the level of divine text. In the Beyond Heaven world, there were only a few people who could grasp it. Generally speaking, only geniuses who were born with the divine grade absolute beginning could comprehend the power of the absolute beginning 5 element. Of course, Long Yu knew that all divine text's power was modified from the power of the absolute beginning 5 elements. Even the original divine text's power couldn't be compared to the original power of the absolute beginning 5 element. Only the revelation-grade divine text could improve and optimize the power of the absolute beginning 5 element. It was even stronger than the original power of the absolute beginning 5 element. In other words, in the Beyond Heaven world, most of the people comprehended the power of the absolute beginning 5 element. Including Long Yu, he only comprehended less than 10% of the revelation-grade divine text of the 9 Nether. In the Beyond Heaven world, only those who stood at the peak could comprehend the power of the absolute beginning 5 element. At the very least, they had to reach the Sovereign Realm. Moreover, the Sovereign Realm was just a threshold. More than 99% of the Sovereign Realm experts couldn't comprehend the power of the absolute beginning 5 element. Because of this, the appearance of the power of the absolute beginning 5 elements shocked the cultivators. Because of this, if a descendant of the innate divine grade absolute beginning divine grade appeared in a race, it would definitely be viewed as a treasure. After all, that descendant could at least become a sovereign in the future and become a pillar of the race. The third prince of the Golden Flood dragon demonic race was like that. Unfortunately, the third prince was killed by Long Yu, and his divine grade absolute beginning divine grade was taken by Long Yu. This caused the Golden Flood dragon demonic race's Grand Elder and the others to be so furious. Earth spiritual control. Long Yu watched as his 9 abyss divine formation swept towards the Golden Moon divine statue. However, it was absorbed by a cube formed by the opponent's power. This was the power of the absolute beginning 5 elements, the power of the earth. Among the absolute beginning 5 elements, earth represented thickness and was also the strongest defensive power. At this moment, the cube formed by the power of the earth of the absolute beginning 5 elements blocked Long Yu's 9 abyss divine formation and absorbed it, turning it into nothingness. Impressive indeed. Long Yu's heart trembled. He could sense that the 3 arms of the Golden Moon God statue contained the power of earth of the 5 elements, and the 3 arms on the right seemed to contain the power of fire. There was a total of 6 arms. The 3 arms on the left held 3 shields of different shapes, while the 3 arms on the right held 3 longswords of different shape. Each longsword was a fiery red color. I'll show you what a truly powerful secret martial art is. That Ruo Tianqin laughed out loud. The Golden Moon God statue instantly moved, the 3 arms on the right waved, the fiery red color on the 3 long swords immediately fluttered, turning into a sea of fire that spread towards Long Yu. As this sea of fire descended, the terrifyingly high temperature almost caused Long Yu's body to explode. With his current physical strength, he definitely wouldn't be able to withstand it. Abyss Palace. Long Yu could only continue to use the innate mystique of the Jiryo Dragon Emperor. He gritted his teeth, and the Enlightenment Level 9 Nether Divine text instantly erupted, turning into a strange and eerie translucent palace, protecting Long Yu's entire body within it. In the Abyss Palace of the 9 Nether Realm, the main body of this mystique fruit directly projected the image of a palace in the outside world, but this image really did have an extremely strong defensive power. The Abyss Palace was the place where Long Yu and the twin cranes of Tian-Yi had entered the innermost layer and comprehended the power of creation. It was also here that Long Yu was possessed by the remnant soul of the Jiryo Dragon Emperor. In that case, he would become an existence like Ruo Tianqin. This innate mystique could be used for defense, but it could also be used to control the opponent, trapping the opponent in the Abyss Palace. It was similar to the Grade 2 God formation, the 12-star prison, but it was much more tyrannical. Now that Long Yu had used it, it was for defense. Immediately after, the sea of fire from the 3 long swords instantly descended on the translucent image of the Abyss Palace, engulfing the palace in the sea of fire. However, even though this sea of flames was formed from the fire energy of the absolute beginning 5 elements, it was actually unable to destroy the illusory image of the 9 Serenity Profound Palace that Long Yu had constructed. Long Yu, who was protected, was completely safe from any danger to his life. Draconic Sacred Spring. Kill. Long Yu felt that there was some unrest in the realm of 9 Serenities, so he restrained himself a little and once again used the deadly explosive moves of the Draconic Sacred Spring and the Space-Severing Strike. But this time, this move was not effective, because Ruo Tianqin's body had completely transformed into the Golden Moon God statue, and this Golden Moon God statue was covered in the power of the Genesis 5 elements of earth and fire. Even the space-severing divine rune of the Draconic Sacred Spring could not penetrate its body. It seems that the power of the space-severing divine rune can only be used against power that has not reached the level of the Genesis 5 elements. It seems that it will not be effective against this Golden Moon God statue. Long Yu frowned slightly. He could only put away the Duankong's sacred spring and think of other ways. It seems that to deal with this golden moon god statue, I can only use strength to suppress it, or I can only use strength to make a breakthrough. In terms of absolute strength, I am 2 realms lower than him, so I definitely can't beat him. So if I want to defeat him, I can only rely on the Revelation Divine Rune. Long Yu was very clear about this, but unfortunately, the amount of Revelation Divine Rune he had comprehended was too little. With just the little bit of Revelation Divine Rune of the 9 serenities that he had comprehended, it was definitely impossible to break through his opponent's defense. In this way, the only way left was to use the innate magic of the Jiryo Dragon Emperor. Although this would make the realm of 9 serenities even more unstable, Long Yu had no other choice. Not bad, this kind of power. Ruo Tianqin, who had transformed into the Golden Moon God statue, used the fire technique of the Genesis 5 elements. A sea of fire descended and burned everything, but it was not able to break through the defense of Long Yu's 9 serenities' profound palace, which surprised him. Only then did he feel that the power used by this human boy was a little strange. It was not the slightest bit inferior to the power of his Genesis 5 elements. And the Revelation Divine Rune of the 9 serenities that Long Yu used, this kind of power made the demon ancestor's original spirit seem to recall something from a long time ago, but he didn't dare to believe it. After all, 20,000 years had passed, and the human race and demon race had both declined. How could there still be someone who could comprehend Revelation Divine Rune? If it was a demigod or some tyrannical great ruler, then it would be fine. But the guy in front of him was just a human boy who was a mere 5-star emperor. How could such a guy master Revelation Divine Rune? After all, the demon ancestor's original spirit was an old immortal from 20,000 years ago, so he knew a lot of things. He was very clear that the foundation of power in this world was the Genesis 5 elements, and that all the divine runes in the world were derived from the Genesis 5 elements. As for the power derived from the Genesis 5 elements, there were lower levels, including the original divine runes and other divine runes comprehended by the general public. At the same time, there were higher levels, and the Revelation Divine Rune was one of them. In other words, the Revelation Divine Rune was a kind of power of a higher level than the Genesis 5 element. It was the power of the Genesis 5 elements that had been optimized. As for who optimized it, no one knew. They could only attribute it to the legendary god. After sensing that Long Yu's power was Revelation Divine Rune, the demon ancestor's original spirit did not say anything. Instead, he was secretly overjoyed. He could be sure that the boy in front of him was probably just lucky enough to comprehend the Revelation Divine Rune. He should have obtained it from his small world. If he could suppress this human boy, wouldn't it be possible for him to comprehend the Revelation Divine Rune? This was an excellent opportunity for the demon ancestor's original spirit. Once he could control Long Yu, he would become stronger than he was 20,000 years ago, and it would be just a matter of time before he reached the demigod realm. Under such circumstances, even if the demon ancestor's original spirit felt that Long Yu had comprehended the Revelation Divine Rune, it could not spread it out. As for the people watching the battle outside, their senses were blocked by the Sea of Death aura and the power of the demon ancestor's original spirit at the same time, so they could not feel anything too real. The heavens are really on my side. The demon ancestor's original spirit was overjoyed. The golden moon god statue that it had transformed into waved its arms again. There were a total of 6 arms, and each of them condensed the violent and turbulent power of the Genesis 5 elements. They rushed toward the translucent Tartarian palace that was protecting Long Yu. World-cleansing heavenly fire. Endless flames covered the translucent Tartarian palace. The waves in the sea of fire were higher than the previous, and actually gradually destroyed and melted the Tartarian palace. I can't wait any longer, I have to quickly deal with it. The Geo Dragon Emperor does have quite a few offensive thaumaturgies, but which one should I use? At the very least, I have to destroy that Golden Moon God statue first. The thaumaturgy with the strongest destructive power seems to be the 9 Dark Moon. Long Yu thought. He once again controlled the 9 Serenities mark and activated the innate thaumaturgy of the 9 Serenities realm. 9 Dark Moon. The 9 Dark Moon was also one of the Geo Dragon Emperor's innate thaumaturgy. Every once in a while, it would pass by the Shenwu world and trigger the Dark Moon Calamity, which was a disaster for the entire Shenwu world. And now, Long Yu was actively using the innate thaumaturgy of the 9 Dark Moon. In an instant, a dark red moon flew out from Long Yu's body, went straight through the Tartarian palace and the sea of fire created by the enemy, heading straight for the Golden Moon God statue. The 9 Nether Dark Moon was in the shape of a crescent moon. It rotated at an extremely terrifying speed and gathered an extremely sharp penetrative force. Coupled with the fact that the 9 Nether Dark Moon was completely formed from the Enlightenment Level 9 Nether Divine Runes, 3 of the arms of the Golden Moon statue were chopped off in the next instant. Long Yu's 9 Dark Moon thaumaturgy actually managed to heavily injure the Golden Moon God statue. Right after that, Long Yu ignored the gasps of the spectators and once again used the 9 Dark Moon. The blood-red crescent moons continuously slashed at the statue. After 3 times, the Golden Moon God statue's 6 arms and head were all cut off, the entire Golden God statue shattered. Impressive! Chapter 1183. In the face of Long Yu's 9 Dark Moons, the origin spirit of the demonic beast ancestor tried to defend himself. He also wanted to use the Earth's spiritual control that he had just used to absorb the power of Long Yu's 9 Dark Moons, but he didn't have enough time. The speed of the 9 Dark Moons was too fast. Moreover, the speed of the attack was absolute and didn't involve the spatial divine text, so it was impossible for the opponent to sense it in advance. It was similar to the fighting style of the Abyss Clan. The speed of the Abyss Clan was absolute and had nothing to do with the spatial divine text. In this case, the perception of spiritual sense was basically useless. Therefore, the 9 Dark Moons burst out in an instant and attacked 3 times in a row. Each attack hit its target, chopping off the 6 arms and the head of the Golden Moon God statue, severely injuring it. It was a pity that the Golden Moon God statue was only an incarnation of Tianqin. Chopping off its head wouldn't cause it to die, but in this way, the Golden Moon God statue's martial arts secret technique was completely broken, and it could no longer use the earth and fire origin spirit of the 5 elements. This, the origin spirit of the demonic beast ancestor, was shocked, but he didn't even have time to be shocked. Long Yu didn't give him any time to struggle. In the next moment, he attacked together with the 9 Nether Palace, and the Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine text swept out. Dragon Burial Ground. Bone Dragon, kill. Under the cover of the endless Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine text, bone dragons condensed from the void one after another, and then spewed dragon breaths with terrifying destructive power at the Golden Moon God statue. Beams of pitch-black light blasted towards the Golden Moon God statue, which had already suffered heavy damage. At this moment, the origin spirit of the demonic beast ancestor was naturally thinking of avoiding these attacks. Unfortunately, at this moment, Long Yu finally used his trump card, the power of origin, 9 Nether Deterrence. The aura of the 9 Underworld's dragon descended with a loud bang, instantly intimidating the demon ancestor's origin spirit on the spot. Then, the 5 bone dragons condensed from the dragon burial ground erupted at the same time, spewing out a pitch-black pillar of dragon breath that engulfed the entire Golden Moon God statue. The earth-shattering destructive power destroyed the Golden Moon deity statue in an instant and tore it into pieces. The golden light scattered in all directions and quickly turned into ashes in the pitch-black void. Not dead yet. Long Yu used balanced control at this moment. With the help of the Sea of Deathly Aura, dragon burial ground, Tianqin and nether dragon senses, and spirit of the sea of nether sea, 9 nether dragon, 9 nether dragon, of 9 nether, dragon, and nether you, of nether spirit spirit you, dragon, dragon nether world, spirit of dragon, yang. There was no doubt that these 8 streams of light were the remnant souls of the demon ancestors' primordial spirit. As for Ruo Tianqin's physical body, it had already been completely destroyed by the bone dragon burial ground. Only the remnant soul is left, that's easy. Long Yu immediately used the Death Star Whirlpool, the most powerful ability of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor. Suddenly, a Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine Text Vortex spread towards the 8 invisible light streams that he sensed, instantly annihilating the remnant soul of Spirit Nether Spirit of the demonic beast ancestor. Death Star Whirlpool was originally a special ability used to annihilate souls. However, at the beginning, the remnant soul of Spirit Nether Spirit of the demonic beast ancestor was hidden in the depths of Spirit Nether Spirit's body. If Long Yu used the Death Star Whirlpool directly, it would destroy Spirit Nether Spirit of Spirit Nether Spirit of Spirit Nether Spirit. Now, Spirit Nether Spirit had nowhere to run or hide. After Long Yu used the most powerful ability of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor, the Death Star Whirlpool, Spirit Nether Spirit's remnant soul was completely annihilated. From then on, the remnant soul of Spirit Nether Spirit 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 completely disappeared from this world. From the moment Spirit Nether Spirit of Spirit Nether Spirit transformed into the Golden Moon God statue, a series of battles happened too quickly. It was so fast that not many spectators could see it clearly. Especially when Long Yu used the Death Star Whirlpool to completely annihilate Spirit Nether Spirit of Spirit Nether Spirit, only a few people noticed it. Most people's minds were on the scene where Long Yu condensed the bone dragons with the burial dragon field, and then the 5 bone dragons instantly destroyed Spirit Nether Spirit's body. This was the scene that most people paid attention to. Did you see that? Spirit Nether Spirit was actually killed by that human brat. It's unbelievable. Where's the primordial spirit of the demon ancestor? That's the rumored Golden Moon God statue's secret art. It's both offensive and defensive, and it's extremely powerful. Moreover, it uses the power of the 5 elements of the absolute beginning. How can it be broken so easily? That human brat is too terrifying. What is his identity? With such terrifying talent, it is impossible for him to be unheard of in the human race. A large group of people started discussing in shock. They pointed at Long Yu, and their eyes were filled with shock and doubt. Just as they thought, how many people in the younger generation of the human race could kill the original spirit of the demon ancestor and the son of the Golden Moon Demon Clan's clan leader? But now, this human brat had actually done it. Who exactly was he? Of course, no matter how they guessed, it was impossible for them to guess Long Yu's identity. After all, there were many geniuses in the human race, and the only thing that was related to Long Yu was the Jiuyou Holy Maiden's escape. The Jiuyou Holy Maiden's escape would certainly not make people think that Long Yu was very strong. They only knew that this person had a small world in advance. Therefore, with so many people present, it was almost impossible for anyone to guess Long Yu's identity. Of course, it didn't matter if they guessed it or not. Since Shui Luo was present, what could these people do to Long Yu? Even if there were people who coveted Long Yu's 9 Serenities realm, they wouldn't dare to do anything in front of Shui Luo and Master Ho Zun. Tianqin. Outside the duel area, the clan leader of the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan was so furious that his eyes almost popped out of their sockets. His eyes were wide open as he stared at the spot where Long Yu and his son Ruo Tianqin were completely annihilated. Originally, he thought that his son, who was possessed by the demonic ancestor's origin spirit, would definitely win. No matter how strong this human brat was, he wouldn't be a match for the demonic ancestor's origin spirit. However, the truth was right in front of him. This human brat had actually killed the demonic ancestor's origin spirit. At least, his son was dead. As for whether the demonic ancestor's origin spirit's remnant soul was destroyed, the clan leader of the Golden Moon Demon clan didn't know yet. However, the clan leader of the Golden Moon Demon clan was most concerned about his son. Ruo Tianqin's death caused the clan leader of the Golden Moon Demon clan to lose control of his emotions. Golden divine runes spread and flickered all over his body. It seemed like he wanted to rush into the duel area and kill Long Yu. However, a few great sovereigns of the Golden Moon Demon clan stopped him and signaled to Master Ho Zun, reminding him that with Master Ho Zun present, it was impossible for him to avenge his son. At this moment, Master Ho Zun was also very surprised. He didn't expect that a powerful existence like the demonic ancestor's origin spirit would be killed by a human brat. After all, Master Ho Zun was very strong. He sensed that the remnant soul of the demonic ancestor's origin spirit was completely killed by Long Yu. Therefore, he was even more surprised by Long Yu's strength. If this brat doesn't die, he will definitely become a great pillar of the alliance between the demon clan and the human clan. Even I will be surpassed by him sooner or later. Grandmaster Ho Zun sighed deeply in his heart. He raised his head and glanced at the direction of the Golden Moon Monstrous clan. It could be considered as a warning to the Golden Moon Monstrous clan, telling them not to act recklessly. Otherwise, he would definitely take action. Originally, the 3 duels were initiated by the Black Scale Demon clan, the White Feather Demon clan, and the Golden Moon Demon clan. Therefore, they should be willing to accept their defeat. If they refuse to admit their defeat, Master Ho Zun would look down on them. On the other side, in the Blood Demon clan. On the side of the Blood Demon clan, Shui Luo, Red Oriole, and Hong Jun were all dumbfounded by Long Yu's performance. Even Red Oriole, who had stayed with Long Yu for a long time, didn't expect that Long Yu could kill the demonic ancestor's origin spirit so easily. The Golden Moon Idol is indeed a very powerful secret martial art of the Golden Moon Demon clan. It is recorded in the history of the Blood Demon clan that, in the same realm, as long as the Golden Moon Idol is cultivated above the 5th level, our Blood Demon clan is almost no match for him. Shui Luo's tone was solemn. Little Brother Long was able to destroy the Golden Moon Idol and completely kill the remnant soul of the demonic ancestor's origin spirit. It is clear that his strength is far beyond our estimation. Of course, it is also possible that the Golden Moon Idol cultivated by the demonic ancestor's origin spirit hasn't reached the 5th level. That's impossible. You should know that the boy who was possessed by the demonic ancestor is the son of the Golden Moon Demon clan's clan leader. It is impossible for him to lack cultivation resources. Red Oriole shook her head and said, before reaching the 7th level of a secret martial art, he only needs the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and his own understanding of the secret martial art to break through to the next level. If it is only at the 5th level, the demonic ancestor's origin spirit must have already reached that level. That is to say, Brother Long is so strong that even the geniuses of the Blood Demon clan are no match for him? Blood Demon Prince Hong Jun narrowed his eyes. I had a hunch about that long ago. After all, he has defeated the elites of the Abyss clan and the Soul clan who are 2 levels higher than him. That is enough proof. However, judging from the battle, Long Yu must have used all his trump cards. Red Oriole smiled and said, previously, he did not even use his trump cards against the demon resisting water and Shiman Duantian. It is clear that he is very confident in his own strength. If he had not encountered a special existence like the demonic ancestor's origin spirit, it would be too early to force him to use his full strength. Fortunately, he won. In this case, there is still the 2nd prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. Shui Luo heaved a sigh of relief. 2nd prince. Look over there, the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan has a dark expression. Red Oriole giggled and pointed at the crowd of Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan cultivators in the distance. The head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan watched as Long Yu killed Ruo Tianqin, who was possessed by the demonic ancestor's origin spirit. He was dumbfounded and stood rooted to the spot. Chapter 1184. The head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan was in a terrible mood. Originally, he thought that if the human brat was lucky enough to win 3 battles, the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan's second prince would come and kill the brat. That way, the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan's reputation would soar. However, ever since the Golden Moon Monstrous Beast Clan's demonic ancestor's primordial spirit appeared, the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan changed his mind. He felt that it was impossible for Long Yu to defeat an existence possessed by the demonic ancestor's primordial spirit. However, the truth was that Long Yu had suddenly displayed an extremely terrifying technique and killed the demonic ancestor's primordial spirit. This was something that the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan had never expected. He couldn't help but suspect if there was an old undying remnant soul in the human brat's body. Otherwise, how could he possess such terrifying strength? All in all, the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan was feeling very guilty. He seriously suspected that even the second prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan wouldn't be a match for the human brat. It was basically impossible for him to take revenge on the human brat. If the second prince continued to come, he was afraid that he would also die in the hands of the human brat. Of course, the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan still felt that it was necessary to give it a try. Otherwise, wouldn't the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan lose all its face? After all, the second prince was a lesser ruler realm expert. If he really couldn't do it, he could unleash all the power of his small world. Even if it would cause great damage to the small world, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with the human brat, right? The head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Beast Clan thought to himself. However, he didn't say anything. He looked around and saw that everyone was as shocked as he was. As for the Black Scale Monster Clan, the White Feather Monster Clan, and the Golden Moon Monstrous Beast Clan, the 3 great beast clans that had failed to challenge Long Yu, every member's face was deathly pale and extremely unsightly. Especially the clan leader of the Golden Moon Monstrous Beast Clan. While he was shocked, he was also filled with regret. Originally, they had relied on the demonic ancestor's primordial spirit that possessed his son's body. To rise in Chi Ming Galaxy was only a matter of time. But now they were completely destroyed because of a human brat. Most importantly, this matter had nothing to do with the Golden Moon Monster Clan at all. Now, the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan was starting to believe what Qing Feng and this human boy had said. Ruo Kai Meng of their Golden Moon Monstrous Clan wasn't killed by Qing Feng, but by the Black Scale Monstrous Clan's Imperial Devil Absolute. If that was the case, the Golden Moon Monster Tribe had really acknowledged the enemy as their father. They had allied with the enemy and helped the enemy with so many things. In the end, they had even buried the hope of their tribe. This made the Golden Moon Clan's clan leader extremely regretful. Here are the 12,000 divine rune crystals. Grandmaster Ho Zun, our Golden Moon monster race will take our leave first. We apologize for causing trouble for Grandmaster Ho Zun. The Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's clan chief revealed a gloomy expression for a very long time. Finally, he sighed and made the decision to leave. Although it was Long Yu who killed his son and eliminated the demon ancestor's primordial spirit, causing them to lose the Golden Moon deity statue, which was a lost secret martial art, he also knew that this challenge was initiated by them, so they could not blame others. Moreover, even if he really killed Long Yu, so what? Could he make up for the loss of the Golden Moon monster race? Absolutely not. Therefore, there was no point in staying here any longer. It was purely a waste of time. Even if he wanted to kill Long Yu to avenge his son, with Grandmaster Ho Zun around, would he be able to succeed? Even if he wanted to avenge his son, it would be a matter for the future. After handing over the 12,000 first-class divine rune crystals, the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's clan chief left with the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's cultivators. As a result, the battlefield became much more spacious. Long Yu had returned to the Blood Demon Clan's camp. Originally, the demon cultivators of the Blood Demon race that Xue Luo had brought along were filled with jealousy and envy towards Long Yu. They were very unhappy that Princess Red Oriole was so fond of Long Yu. But now, after Long Yu defeated Ruo Tianqin, who was possessed by the demon ancestor's primordial spirit, these Blood Demon Clan's cultivators were completely in awe of Long Yu. Not to mention anything else, the various techniques that Long Yu and the demon ancestor's primordial spirit displayed were more than enough to deal with them. It was not like a battle between a mere emperor, but a battle between a cultivator in the sovereign mysterious realm. Moreover, this human kid was clearly just a 5-star emperor. In other words, when this kid stepped into the sovereign mysterious realm, or even the grand sovereign mysterious realm, his strength would truly reach the peak of this world. Almost no one would be able to defeat him, and it would not be impossible for him to step into the demigod realm. Only such an existence is worthy of our clan's princess. These people all thought so in their hearts. Haha, Brother Dragon, you are so awesome. Even the demon ancestor's primordial spirit was killed by you. Blood Demon Prince Hong Jun walked up to Long Yu, but he found that Long Yu did not look too good. He couldn't help but ask, Brother Dragon, what's wrong with you? Did something happen? Yes. Long Yu said in a deep voice, my 9 Serenities realm can't hold on much longer. I'm afraid it will collapse soon. Although I won this battle, I also suffered a great loss. I used the innate technique of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor, which caused the 9 Serenities realm to collapse. What? Hong Jun's expression also changed. Red Oriole, who was next to him, frowned and suggested, if you really can't hold on any longer, you can temporarily put the creatures in your 9 Serenities realm into my small world. They should be able to hold on for a while. When they really can't hold on any longer, I will have to trouble you. Long Yu sighed. In his heart, he was thinking, if the 9 Serenities realm really collapsed, other things were easy to handle, but what about the 300,000 survivors of the bone race? Long Yu did not want to let Red Oriole know about the survivors of the bone race. After all, they were not that familiar with each other. Most importantly, the survivors of the bone race were the mortal enemies of the human race and the demon race thousands of years ago. Now, Long Yu did not know what choice Red Oriole would make when faced with such a problem. Originally, the 9 Serenities realm could probably hold on for another 3 to 4 months. But because Long Yu had used many of the innate techniques of the Jiuyou Dragon Emperor, the aura in the 9 Serenities realm had become chaotic, and the half of the Death Star spiral that had exploded was spreading at a much faster rate. If this continued, the 9 Serenities realm would probably be filled with the power of the Death Star spiral in a month's time. Any living creature that entered would be corroded, and it would be impossible for them to survive. And in a month's time, it was unlikely that Long Yu would be able to step into the Sovereign's secret realm. If he really couldn't do it, he could only borrow Red Oriole's small world. As for the survivors of the bone race, he would think of a way to deal with them when the time came. Although he could temporarily let them stay in Long Yu's small world, there was no heaven and earth spiritual energy or the power of creation. For the juniors of the bone race, the living conditions were too harsh. No, it could be said that even survival was a problem. I can only think about the survivors of the bone race in the future. In any case, there is still a month before the 9 Serenities realm completely collapses. The appearance of the signs of the 9 Serenities realm's collapse had caused Long Yu's mood to turn sour. Although he had defeated an existence on the level of a demon ancestor's origin spirit, which proved his absolute strength, he really couldn't bring himself to be happy. Alright, human mountain ghost, here are 36,000 first-grade divine runic crystals. According to our agreement, you should return the spoils of war from the previous 2 battles to their respective clans. Grandmaster Ho Zun walked over and said to Long Yu with a smile. Long Yu nodded his head. He took out the battle weapon and the small world mark that he had obtained from the demon resisting water. However, when he took out Shimen Duantian's top-grade unbounded battle weapon, he paused for a moment. This battle weapon is the property of the White Feathers monstrous clan. Since that's the case, I'll hand it over to Brother Qinfeng of the White Feathers monstrous clan. In my eyes, Brother Qinfeng is the true successor of the White Feathers monstrous clan. Long Yu said indifferently, in order to prevent the Black Scales monstrous clan and the Golden Moon monstrous clan from joining hands to attack them, the White Feathers monstrous clan actually treated Brother Qinfeng and his father as traitors, and expelled them from the White Feathers monstrous clan. I really don't want to return such treacherous people to them. Grandmaster Ho Zun, what do you think about this? Following that, Long Yu had like Qinfeng come out of the 9 Serenities realm, and took the sword he had obtained from Shimen Duantian. There were still some secrets in the sword that Long Yu hadn't figured out. The main thing was that it was a top-grade unbounded battle weapon. If he could find a way to repair it, it would be a very powerful weapon. Grandmaster Ho Zun took a glance at Long Yu and like Qinfeng, and said with a faint smile, "This is an internal affair of the White Feathers monstrous clan. As for who you're going to return it to, I have no right to ask. Let's leave it at that." After saying those words, Grandmaster Ho Zun handed the 36,000 first-grade divine runic crystals to Long Yu. Then, he took the Black Scales monstrous clan's Devil Imperial Water's little world mark and battle weapon, and returned them to the Black Scales monstrous clan. Seeing that, the White Feathers monstrous clan's clan chief was so furious that he wanted to vomit blood. Grandmaster Ho Zun, this Qinfeng was expelled from our White Feathers monstrous clan. The White Feathers monstrous clan's clan chief immediately felt unbalanced, and spoke out to demand the battle weapon back. Sigh, although this is an internal affair of your White Feathers monstrous clan, you all did not handle this matter properly. Since they're from the same clan, how could you abandon them just because of the obstruction of an external enemy? Grandmaster Ho Zun sighed and interrupted the White Feathers monstrous clan's clan chief. Clearly, he was very displeased with the White Feathers monstrous clan's clan chief's decision to expel like Qinfeng and like Tianlei from the White Feathers monstrous clan. Chapter 1185. Of course, Long Yu couldn't be bothered with the White Feather monstrous chief's situation. What he was more excited about was that he had finally collected a total of 100,000 grade 1 divine runic crystals. With them, he could use them to repair the Dragon Bone Tower, a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon. I've already reached the level of God fused with the Dragon Bone Tower, which means I'm at the 4th level. Once I fix it up and turn it into a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon, it'll be my most powerful weapon. Long Yu thought to himself, just how much power could a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon unleash? Long Yu found it hard to imagine. At least, he hadn't seen one yet. He had only seen a divine-grade absolute primordium battle weapon, but it was said that if a divine-grade absolute primordium battle weapon hadn't awakened to the 5th level, its power wouldn't even be comparable to a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon. In other words, a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon would definitely be more powerful than an ordinary divine-grade absolute primordium battle weapon. Of course, this also depended on who was using it, and whether it could unleash a greater power. If the higher the level of fusion with the battle weapon, the more power it could unleash. It was hard to compare the exact power between an unbounded battle weapon and a divine-grade absolute primordium battle weapon. The latter was generally stronger. After all, it had greater potential. If it could awaken to the 12th level, it would definitely be able to crush any other unbounded battle weapon, even a supreme-grade one. But at lower levels, an unbounded battle weapon would still have a slight advantage, let alone a supreme-grade unbounded battle weapon. After a rough estimation, if Long Yu completely repaired the Dragon Bone Tower and used the Dragon Bone Break, its power would definitely be on par with the Geo Dragon Emperor's 9 Dark Moons. In other words, Long Yu wouldn't even need to use the Geo Dragon Emperor's innate mystique to defeat an opponent of the same level as Ruo Tianqin, who had been possessed by the demonic forefather's origin spirit. Ruo Tianqin, who's possessed by the demonic ancestor's primordial spirit, is probably close to an ordinary mid-level ruler expert in terms of overall strength. In other words, he's probably around the same level as the second prince of the Golden Flood dragon demonic race. As long as the ancient Dragon Bone Tower is completely repaired, I won't have to be afraid of him, and I won't have to use the Geo Dragon Emperor's innate divine ability. This was exactly what Long Yu had thought of before he agreed to the successive challenges and duels. With 36,000 first-grade divine runic crystals in hand, Long Yu directly went to Red Oriole's pocket world to repair the ancient Dragon Bone Tower. In addition to the 60,000 first-grade divine runic crystals that the Geo Dragon Emperor had left behind, he had exactly 100,000 first-grade divine runic crystals. This was all calculated by Long Yu. Through these 3 duels, he would be able to exploit the Black Scale Demon tribe and the other 2 demonic cultivator tribes. Good boy, now he runs to your pocket dimension no matter what he does. Seeing Long Yu run to Red Oriole's pocket dimension, Hong Jun was a little puzzled. Poor little brother, I want to enter your pocket dimension, but you don't even let me. Sigh. If you want to go in, then go in. Just don't regret it after you go in. Red Oriole harumphed at Hong Jun. Hong Jun was immediately speechless. Usually, he was taught a terrible lesson by his sister in the outside world, let alone in Red Oriole's pocket dimension. Then, she could do whatever she wanted. Hong Jun was just saying it casually. However, he now realized that Long Yu and his sister's relationship was really good. It seemed that after the demonic sage tomb and the series of events here, they had become very close. Hence, Hong Jun quietly moved closer to Xue Luo's ear and transmitted his voice. Cousin, I think my sister is probably in love. Yes, I think so too. As long as she continues to be with this Long Yu. Xue Luo nodded in agreement. But now, even if we want to break them up, I'm afraid it's impossible. I'm afraid Yingying wants to stay with him for a while longer. If the 2 of them really get together, do you think my father will agree? Hong Jun was deeply worried about this. Cough, cough, how would I know? Xue Luo immediately raised his head and looked at the void. Asking him to guess the thoughts of the Blood Demon clan leader was really flattering him. Although he was doing well in the army of the alien race, he was just doing well. For an expert at the level of the Blood Demon clan leader, it was really nothing. However, Brother Long has such talent in martial arts. My father probably won't make things too difficult for him. It's just that, sigh, how about this, cousin, let's, Hong Jun and Xue Luo were whispering to each other, slowly planning something. However, Red Oriole and Long Yu were completely unaware of this. A day later, Long Yu finally came out from Red Oriole's small world. Repairing the ancient Dragon Bone Tower was already a walk in the park for Long Yu. Therefore, it didn't take him too much time to completely repair the ancient Dragon Bone Tower. By the time he came out from Red Oriole's small world, the ancient Dragon Bone Tower had finally been completely repaired. It had become a top-grade unbounded rank weapon. With this, Long Yu's confidence in himself increased greatly. Even if the Golden Flood Dragon race's second crown prince came, he was confident that he could defeat him. However, when he came out from Red Oriole's small world, he discovered that the situation was very different from what he had imagined. The Golden Flood Dragon race's chief, Butler, had actually left with the remaining Sovereign Realm experts of the Golden Flood Dragon race. They ran away? Where's the second crown prince who said he wanted to duel with me? Long Yu asked Red Oriole in bewilderment. He said that the second crown prince had something to attend to and couldn't come. The chief butler told you to wait. There will be plenty of opportunities to deal with you in the future. Red Oriole chuckled. However, in my opinion, the second crown prince wouldn't dare to come after knowing that you killed the demonic ancestor's origin spirit. Otherwise, he would really be courting death. They're actually so cowardly? Long Yu didn't dare to believe it. Could it be that the Golden Flood dragon race was afraid of him and Red Oriole? There's no other way. In order to hunt you down, the Golden Flood dragon race has suffered too many losses. First, it was the third crown prince, then 3 mid-level sovereign realm experts, and 7 low-level sovereign realm experts. After that, the Grand Elder was dragged into my small world and self-detonated. When he arrived here, more than a dozen of them were killed by the explosion of your stone tablet. In the end, the remaining dozen or so sovereign realm experts that were left behind were suddenly wiped out by someone. Red Oriole smiled as she spoke. Under the leadership of the Grand Elder, they came in a threatening manner. By the time they returned, only 7 of them were left. Tell me, do you think they would dare to recklessly attack you now? If they fail and the second crown prince dies, then the Golden Flood dragon race really won't be able to survive anymore. Among the 4 great cultivation planets of the Iron Wall Galaxy, the Golden Flood dragon planet will probably be removed from the list. Hearing Long Yu's words, Long Yu was speechless. If he was the patriarch of the Golden Flood dragon race, he wouldn't have brought so many people to deal with his opponents in such a grand manner. As a great demonic race, if they wanted to eliminate someone, they only needed to do it in secret. Sending a tyrannical sovereign realm would be enough to eliminate the opponent without anyone noticing. Making such a big fuss and making it known to everyone, yet in the end, they still failed and became the laughingstock of the demonic race. It was truly foolish. But with this, we have to be careful at all times in the future. Now that they've retreated, it means that they've learned their lesson. Long Yu was not complacent. Instead, he calmly said, "From now on, we may be assassinated by experts at any time. I'm afraid it's impossible for us to live in peace. Even in the Blood Demon Galaxy, I'm afraid there won't be absolute safety." That's right. After all, we've offended the 4 great demonic races. Red Oriole nodded. She had a whole new level of respect for Long Yu. If it were anyone else, they might not even have enough time to be happy that their opponents had retreated. It would even be normal for them to feel complacent. Just now, Red Oriole had even felt a little proud of Long Yu. He had actually scared off such a great demonic race like the Golden Flood dragon race. But after hearing Long Yu's words, she realized that the real danger for them had only just begun after their opponents had retreated. Be prepared for danger in times of peace, not arrogant in victory, and not discouraged in defeat. This was Long Yu. No matter when or where he was, he would always maintain his calmness to ensure that he could face any possible danger in his best state. The people from the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous clan had retreated, and the second prince was no longer going to fight Long Yu. In that case, the people from the Black Chelan monstrous clan, the White Feather monstrous clan, and the others would also be useless. After all, it was impossible for them to send anyone to fight Long Yu. It was basically impossible to kill Long Yu on this occasion. With Shui Luo's protection, Master Ho Zun of the Demon Races Alliance as a witness, and Long Yu knew that Consort Yu was also secretly there, his own safety was absolutely guaranteed. But when Long Yu looked over, he saw that the Black Scale Demon race and the White Feather Demon race were still gathering in the void far away. Most of them were resting with their eyes closed, as if they were waiting for something to come. "What are they waiting for?" Long Yu asked. He had a bad premonition, and a slight frown appeared on his face. Red Oriole smiled when she heard Huang Xiaolong's question. Over 200 of them who were guarding this place mysteriously disappeared from the face of the earth. They suspect that the murderer is hiding in the vicinity, so they stayed behind to wait for Master Ho Zun's results. If there was really a murderer hiding in the vicinity, I'm afraid Master Ho Zun would have found out long ago. Why would he wait until now? Long Yu couldn't help but feel suspicious. At the same time, he was a little worried. It seemed like the other party had not given up on finding Consort Yu. At this point, Long Yu was certain that the one who killed the 200 demonic beast cultivators was Consort Yu. Otherwise, no one else would have the motive and strength to kill over 200 sovereign realm demonic beast cultivators in an instant. Therefore, when Long Yu looked at the 5 members of the Demon Race Alliance in the distance, a solemn expression appeared on his face. If they really wanted to find Consort Yu, why would they wait until now? Or had they already called for help and they were about to arrive? If the other party really found Consort Yu, what should he do? A series of questions appeared in Long Yu's mind, but before he could finish thinking about them, the situation on the battlefield changed. 2 other Sovereign Realm experts wearing the same robes as Grandmaster Ho Zun and the others appeared in the void from 2 different directions. Their strength was comparable to Grandmaster Ho Zun's, and they were definitely experts on the same level as him. As expected, there are helpers from the Demon Race Alliance. Chapter 1186. By the time Long Yu's expression changed, the 2 white-robed Sovereign Realm experts had already arrived on the scene. They had already formed a formation with Ho Zun, who was already present. With the appearance of this formation, the power of the 3 different divine characters instantly covered the surrounding void, covering everything within 1,000,000 miles. Even the White Feather Planet was included in this area. The White Feather Planet only occupied 1,000th of the entire planet. The 3 Sovereign Realm experts working together were actually able to form a scanning array formation that could detect every single detail within 1,000,000 miles of the planet's surface. Before Long Yu could react, in the void not far away from them, a wave of icy divine characters suddenly exploded. The strength of the power far surpassed the Dragon Empress of 9 Nether's innate skill that Long Yu had cast before, and it froze the entire area within a radius of 10,000 miles. If Long Yu or Ruo Tianqin, who was possessed by the demon ancestor's primordial spirit, were in that area, it would be impossible for them to escape. They would be frozen to death in an instant. This was the gap between martial Dao realms. Great sovereigns were much stronger than Long Yu. Moreover, Long Yu was an expert among great sovereigns, even stronger than ordinary great sovereigns. This large-scale eruption of chilling ice divine runes was most likely to force Concubine Yu to appear. Sure enough, after the eruption of chilling ice divine runes, a beautiful figure that Long Yu had seen several times appeared from within the chilling ice divine runes. With a wave of her hand, black and white chilling ice divine runes intertwined, instantly shattering the chilling ice divine runes. It's really her. When Long Yu saw the beautiful figure, he heaved a sigh of relief, but at the same time, he was a little worried for her. He knew that when Consort Yu came, she probably saw the 9 Hell Tablet exploding and thought that he was dead. Therefore, she killed all the demon cultivators from the 4 great demon clans to avenge him. She didn't expect that Long Yu was not dead at all. With this, Consort Yu and the demon clan would definitely become enemies. In that case, what should Long Yu do? Even if Shui Luo was willing to help him, he might not be willing to help Consort Yu. Although Consort Yu was powerful, this was still the territory of the demon race, and she had escaped from the Jiu Yu tribe. Without backup, it would be hard for her to win. However, no matter what Long Yu wanted to do, it was difficult for him to say anything in such a situation. At this stage, he could only wait and see. If it was really necessary, he would not hesitate to release the 9 underworld's prison steel again to protect Concubine Yu. It was impossible for him to watch the other party attack Concubine Yu. How could it be you, Jiu holy girl? Didn't you run away from the Jiu clan? Why did you come to our demon clan's territory and kill the innocent? One of the great sovereign experts was a long-haired man. His whole body exuded an icy aura, and his eyes were icy purple. He seemed extremely cold. He recognized Consort Yu's identity at a glance and shouted, "Demon Clan Alliance, 3 inspectors. This lineup seems to be overestimating me." Concubine Yu smiled faintly, but she didn't answer his question directly. Instead, she calmly walked out of the ice and appeared before everyone's eyes. In the Demon Clan Alliance, only the experts among the great sovereigns were qualified to take up the position of inspector. They had to be at least at the same level as Master Ho Zun. Therefore, the 2 great sovereigns who had just appeared were also inspectors, and had the same status as Master Ho Zun. "It's Consort Yu?" Red Oriole, who was beside Long Yu, suddenly brightened up. She didn't recognize Consort Yu at first, but after listening to the long-haired man with purple eyes from the Demon Clan Alliance, she realized that the beautiful woman was actually Consort Yu. "As expected, it's Consort Yu. Haha." Shueluo heaved a sigh of relief when he saw this. He had long sensed that there were people nearby, and they should be the culprits who slaughtered the 4 great demon clans. He had already guessed it, and now his guess was confirmed. Because Shueluo knew that Long Yu possessed the Consort Yu and that the holy girl of the Jiu clan, Consort Yu, had left because of the Jiu realm, he had long known that Long Yu and Consort Yu were related. Now that someone had slaughtered the 4 great demon clans, Consort Yu was one of the most likely candidates. Now it seemed that his guess was right. "Hey sis, looks like your premonition was right. As long as we follow Brother Long, we'll meet the holy girl of the Jiu clan, Consort Yu, one day. This Consort Yu is even more beautiful than I imagined." The moment Hong Jun saw Consort Yu, his eyes widened. Her ethereal figure, but it also contained the dense evil aura of the Jiu divine text. The 2 completely different auras concentrated on Consort Yu, but they didn't seem out of place at all. Instead, they gave her a unique charm. "She does have quite the temperament. Cousin, you'd better be careful that your lover gets snatched away." Shueluo chuckled. However, Red Oriole snorted. "What lover? You guys, on the other hand, better not be charmed by her." These words caused her younger brother, Hong Jun, to cough uncontrollably. Finally, he retracted his gaze. "Ahem, I already have someone I like. Sis, don't talk nonsense." Red Oriole's move was truly instantaneous. Originally, the spearhead had been pointed at her, but she had easily shifted the topic to the Red Monarch. Compared to the composure of the Blood Demon Clan, the Black Scale Demon Clan, the White Feather Demon Clan, and the Demon Clan's alliance were all greatly shocked. Because they had speculated a lot about the identity of the murderer, but it never occurred to them that the murderer would be the holy girl of the Jiu clan who had run away from the Jiu clan. In that case, Master Ho Zun took a look at Long Yu. He already had a guess in his mind. No wonder this guy is so impressive. He is Long Yu, who is rumored to have obtained the heritage of the Jiu Dragon Emperor. And Consort Yu ran away because of this. I should have thought of this earlier. What a blunder! Master Ho Zun thought to himself. He was an inspector of the Demon Clan Alliance. There were too many things he had to manage. He had seen many darkness-attributed divine characters that were similar to the 9 nether divine characters. Therefore, he had never thought that the murderer would be related to the Jiu Dragon Emperor. But now, with the appearance of Concubine Yu, Long Yu's identity was on the verge of being revealed. She is the holy girl of the Jiu clan. Why is she here? Moreover, she even slaughtered dozens of our sovereign's secret realm experts. We can't let her go today. The White Feather Demonic Clan's patriarch's eyes widened in anger when he saw this. There were 2 reasons why they had suffered the greatest losses in this operation. One of them was the eruption of the pitch-black stone steel when they were besieging Long Yu, killing 50 to 60 sovereign realm experts of their clan. The other reason was the mysterious disappearance of the people who had stayed behind. From the looks of it, all the people who had stayed behind were killed by the Consort Yu of the 9 Nether clan. The human race's holy girl actually came to the territory of our demon clan to slaughter people? Preposterous. Does she think that our demon clan is invincible? The Black Chelan race's patriarch was incomparably furious. His anger was even stronger than when Long Yu had killed the devil-resisting water. Long Yu had only killed one of their rising stars, but Consort Yu had killed more than 50 of their sovereign secret realm experts. Pay attention to your words. I am no longer the 9 Nether Clan's holy girl. When Consort Yu heard their words, she emphasized her words. She then turned to the crowd and asked, however, I would like to ask all of you a question. You people from the demon clan can hunt down my human race's geniuses. Why can't I kill someone from your demon clan? I'm just taking revenge for my friend. Of course, he didn't die because he had some tricks up his sleeve. It was beyond all of your expectations. Her words caused the people from the Black Chelan race and White Feather clan to be filled with righteous indignation. They wanted to refute her words, but they couldn't find any words to say. That was indeed the case. Why could they hunt down Long Yu, but why couldn't Consort Yu help Long Yu kill them? Everyone understood this logic. Therefore, it was definitely inappropriate for the Black Chelan race and White Feather clan to handle this matter. The Demon Clan Alliance would not allow such a large-scale conflict between the human race and the Demon Clan to erupt. At this time, the Demon Clan Alliance's usefulness could be seen. Consort Yu, even if that's the case, shouldn't you take some responsibility for killing so many people from our Demon Clan? The long-haired, purple-eyed man said with a faint smile. Grandmaster Zile, what responsibility do you want me to take? Consort Yu clearly wasn't ignorant of the Demon Clan Alliance. She immediately saw through the long-haired, purple-bronze man's identity. You have 3 choices. Before the long-haired, purple-eyed man and Grandmaster Zile could speak, another Sovereign Realm expert who had just arrived spoke. This person was very fat, with a round face and a big mouth. It was hard to tell whether he was a man or a woman. However, at this moment, he was chewing something in his mouth. Obviously, he was a foodie. However, no one present looked down on this person because of this. After all, this person was one of the Demon Clan Alliance's inspectors, Grandmaster Gluttony. Grandmaster Ho-Zun, Grandmaster Gluttony, and Grandmaster Zile, the 3 inspectors from the Demon Clan Alliance, surrounded Consort Yu together. They wanted Consort Yu to give them an explanation for this matter. The first choice is for us to break the negotiation and fight. Believe me, this choice won't do you any good. Even if the 3 of us together aren't a match for you, it's still very easy for us to trap you. What do you think will happen when the other people from the Demon Clan Alliance arrive? The second choice is to come with us to the Demon Clan Alliance's headquarters. It's better for the Demon Clan Alliance's headquarters to solve the problem that concerns the relationship between our Demon Clan and the human race. The compensation plan can also be discussed slowly. As for the third choice, at this point, Grandmaster Gluttony finally stopped chewing the food in his mouth. He stared at Consort Yu for a long time before saying, "Marry me." Chapter 1187. After Gluttony Master said this, he stared at Consort Yu with a sneaky expression. However, Consort Yu didn't take his words seriously at all. In your dreams. Unfortunately, you only have 2 choices here. Either you scram or you die. Take advantage of the opportunity you have right now. Hurry up and choose. Consort Yu said coldly. To be able to say such words in the territory of my demon race, your tone is not small. Ho-Zun, Zile, regardless of whether you can endure it or not, I will be the first one who can't endure it. This girl has to be taught a lesson, and let her know whose territory this is. Gluttony Master's face darkened as he said to Grandmaster Ho-Zun and Grandmaster Zile. Grandmaster Ho-Zun and Grandmaster Zile didn't say anything else. They just moved and completely surrounded Consort Yu in the void. It seemed like they were really going to make a move. After all, this was the demon race's territory. Consort, you had slaughtered more than 200 demon race experts in the sovereign's secret realm. For the demon race's alliance, she was definitely an enemy. Long Yu looked at the tense atmosphere and felt a little nervous. If a fight really broke out, he definitely wouldn't just stand by and watch. However, before they started fighting, a confident voice came from the side. "Haha, Grandmasters, why are you so angry? The human race and the demon race have formed an alliance in the foreign race's battlefield. We are helping each other and complementing each other. We can't do without either side. Why are you making such a big fuss?" Unexpectedly, it was Xue Luo from the blood demon race. He said bluntly, "Grandmasters and seniors of the demon race's alliance, I'm too lazy to say anything else. Since this consort you has committed a crime in the demon race's territory, let her join our army in the foreign race's battlefield. Let's go to the foreign race's battlefield and kill them. Am I right?" His words were obviously to help consort you out of the predicament. Different expressions appeared on everyone's faces. The people from the Black Qilin clan and the White Feather clan immediately attacked Xue Luo. "Which side are you on? Do you belong to the demon race or the human race? This woman slaughtered more than 200 of our demon clan's elite. Are we just going to let it go?" The people from the Black Qilin monstrous clan and the White Feather monstrous clan were immediately cursed out. Evidently, they all felt that it was too easy for Consort Yu to be sent to the battlefield of the outsiders. Xue Luo snorted coldly and said, "I already said that the human race and the demon race coexist. Neither side can survive. Without the human race, the demon race will perish in less than 100 years. Without the demon race, the human race will be the same. Therefore, if you continue to separate the human race and the demon race, aren't you being too short-sighted? Furthermore, why were those 200 elites of the demon clan killed? It's all because you surrounded and killed this human genius. May I ask, who is the one causing trouble for whom?" Xue Luo's words contained the aura of the emperor of the demon race's battlefield, which instantly intimidated everyone present. His strength was not any weaker than Grandmaster Ho Zun and the other two people from the demon race alliance. In addition to the murderous aura he had accumulated in the demon race's battlefield over the years, his aura surpassed that of Grandmaster Ho Zun and the others. The people from the Black Qilin monstrous clan and the White Feather monstrous clan were chattering noisily just a moment ago. But now they instantly fell silent. They didn't dare to say a single word, for fear of provoking Xue Luo, the murderous god of the demon race's battlefield. 3 Grandmasters, think about it. Even if Consort Yu follows you to the headquarters of the Demon Race Alliance, will the Demon Race Alliance punish her? Xue Luo said indifferently, "At most, they'll let her redeem herself by killing some of the Demon Race's members. Since that's the case, why don't you let her go with us? After all, we're going to the Demon Race's battlefield soon. It won't be hard for you to explain yourself when you return to the headquarters of the Demon Race Alliance. After all, it's the people from the Black Qilin monstrous clan and the White Feather monstrous clan who asked for trouble." Xue Luo's words stunned Grandmaster Ho Zun, Grandmaster Gluttony, and Grandmaster Zi Lei. They weren't stunned because of Xue Luo's words, but because Xue Luo's words clearly indicated that he was on Consort Yu's side. If they forcefully attacked Consort Yu, Xue Luo would most likely help Consort Yu. If that was the case, the 3 of them wouldn't be able to stop Xue Luo and Consort Yu. After all, Consort Yu could deal with the 2 of them by herself. For Grandmaster Ho Zun and the other 2 Grandmasters, the situation had become quite tricky. If they let Consort Yu go, it wouldn't be justifiable according to the rules. However, if they didn't let Consort Yu go, the current situation wouldn't be easy to solve. Unless they waited for the other helpers of the Demon Race Alliance to come. But would Xue Luo and Consort Yu give them time? Perhaps as soon as Grandmaster Ho Zun and the other 2 Grandmasters expressed that they wouldn't let Consort Yu go, Luo and consort you would immediately attack them. At least, it would be easy for them to escape from this place. It was impossible for the three of them to catch up with them. Grandmaster Ho Zun, Grandmaster Zilei, and Master Gluttony looked at each other. They were all inspectors of several galaxies in the Demon Race Alliance, so they had cooperated with each other many times. Now, just a look was enough to tell each other what to do next. Soon, Grandmaster Ho Zun nodded and basically finished the discussion with Grandmaster Gluttony and Grandmaster Zilei. Okay, then you can take her to the battlefield of the alien race. However, the Demon Race Alliance will submit the information to the army on the battlefield of the alien race. The army on the battlefield will strictly assign tasks to consort you. She must kill a certain number of alien race members to make up for her crime. Then there's no problem, right? Luo smiled. As long as she went to the battlefield of the alien race, everything would be managed by the army on the battlefield. The Demon Race Alliance couldn't interfere at all. Of course, the Demon Race Alliance could ask the army on the battlefield to assign tasks to consort you. However, Luo was the commander of the army on the battlefield of the alien race, so he was very clear about the current policy of the demon race on the battlefield of the alien race. Because the death rate on the battlefield of the alien race was very high, there were fewer and fewer young demon race members willing to go to the battlefield of the alien race. Therefore, a policy had been put in place long ago. That was, as long as one was willing to go to the battlefield of the alien race, all the previous crimes would be lenient. Moreover, as long as one was willing to follow the command and arrangement of the battlefield of the alien race, all the previous crimes would be written off. Although Consort Yu was a human, there were many human experts on the battlefield of the alien race in the territory of the demon race. Many human experts were even serving as commanders in the army on the battlefield of the alien race. Therefore, Grandmaster Ho Zun's words were just for show. If he really wanted to go to the battlefield of the alien race to consort Yu's crimes, it was impossible for him to do so. He just said it now to make the people of the Black Qilin clan and the White Feather clan feel a little better. Consort Yu was also a little surprised that Luo stood out to speak for her. However, she also recognized Luo's identity. She had also been to the battlefield of the alien race in the past, but she was on the side of the human race. At that time, there was a huge invasion of the alien race. Therefore, the human race asked the demon race for reinforcements. Many experts were sent over, and more than half of the sovereign secret realm experts in the human race's territory were mobilized. Finally, the alien race was repelled. It was also at that time that Consort Yu saw Luo. Although she didn't have a deep impression of him, with her memory, she still remembered Luo's identity. This person is willing to help me probably because of Long Yu. Now, Long Yu seems to have a close relationship with the princess of the blood demon race, and this Luo is the cousin of the princess of the blood demon race. Does this mean that they are in-laws? Consort Yu had a strange feeling. It could be said that Long Yu was personally raised by her. Although she had only wanted to use him to seize the 9 underworlds realm, as Long Yu grew in the Shenwu world, Consort Yu admired Long Yu more and more. She could see that in the future, Long Yu's achievements wouldn't be any lower than hers. Thinking back to the strange phenomenon that appeared on Long Yu's body, Consort Yu was still a little confused. At that time, it was precisely the strange phenomenon that appeared on Long Yu's body that attracted her attention to Long Yu, and also left the 9 underworlds dragon mark on her body. Shaking her head, Consort Yu didn't think too much about the past. Instead, she stood up and walked towards Luo's direction. This time, Grandmaster Ho Zun and the other 3 Grandmasters of the Demon Race Alliance didn't stop her. They could only watch as she walked towards the Blood Demon Race's camp and met up with Luo. "Many thanks for your help," Consort Yu said to Luo with a faint smile. "It's not really help. After all, even without me, you can handle such a situation by yourself." Luo laughed, however, My next action plan requires you to come with us to the battlefield of the foreign races. Don't worry, there will definitely be a lot of benefits. Action plan? Hearing Shui Luo's words, Long Yu, Hong Jun, Red Oriole, and consort, you were a little confused. Cousin, and little brother Long, you all come with me to the battlefield of the foreign races. Shui Luo nodded. His expression became a little serious. After all, if you stay in the demon race's territory, you may face the assassins of the 4 races of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race at any time. They may even send some of their trump cards to assassinate you. It's impossible to guard against them. Right now, the most important thing for you all is to quickly improve your martial realm. In this kind of environment where you may be assassinated at any time, it's impossible to cultivate in peace. You're right. Red Oriole nodded her head after hearing Shui Luo's words. She took the opportunity to hug Long Yu's arm and asked, Little brother Long, what do you think? What you need now is time. At the very least, you need to step into the sovereign's secret realm. Only then will you be able to stand on your own. At that time, no one will dare to bully you. Long Yu thought about it and agreed with Shui Luo. For the time being, there wouldn't be a stable cultivation environment in the demon race's territory. If he wanted a stable cultivation environment, he could only follow Shui Luo to the battlefield of the foreign races. Chapter 1188. The battlefield of the alien races became Long Yu's next stop. However, he would not be alone on this stop. Next to him were Shui Luo, Hong Jun, Hong Ying, and other friends of the Blood Demon clan, as well as Qing Feng, Tian Lei, and the other 100,000 branches of the White Feather Demon clan. Even Consort Yu was with them. Most importantly, Consort Yu pulled Long Yu aside and told him with a smile, Right, I have good news for you. Your master and 2 senior brothers in the Divine Battle Sector, Red Emperor, Xing Fa, and Dao Jingtian, have all been brought here from the Lushan clan. Right now, Yi Ziwei is in my small world. You haven't seen her for a long time, have you? The girl has been talking about you all the time. I'm afraid she will be very sad if she sees you with the princess of the Blood Demon clan. She and I are just friends. She is a bit more cheerful. Long Yu did not know whether to laugh or cry. Senior Consort Yu, speaking of which, what happened after you left the 9 Serenities realm? When I got out of the 9 Serenities realm, I found myself in a historical site in the universe. Long Yu learned a little bit about what had happened from Hong Ying. After all, the incident had spread far and wide. Many people knew the gist of it. However, Long Yu wanted to know more details. Hearing Long Yu's question, Consort Yu finally told Long Yu everything that had happened after they left the 9 Serenities realm, including the self-detonation of Dao E Jiyuan, the birth of the ruins of the world, and the outbreak of space turbulence. As for why I left the 9 Serenities clan and gave up the title of Saintess, the situation is much more complicated. We don't have much time now. Let's talk about it later. Consort Yu did not tell him why she left the 9 Serenities clan for now. However, Long Yu would not dwell on it. Time was indeed tight. Even if they wanted to talk, they could not stay in the void to do so. However, Senior Consort Yu, I feel that you seem a little different from before. Long Yu sized up Consort Yu suspiciously. Previously, when he saw Consort Yu, she was always bathed in an ethereal aura. Her temperament was elegant yet cold, giving people the feeling that she could only be seen from afar. But now, although Consort Yu's body still carried the ethereal immortal chi, it was much thinner, and the cold aura of the netherworld divine characters on her body was stronger than before. Consort Yu's expression immediately darkened at the mention of this. My absolute beginning divine grade grand primordium cracked when I fought against the world ruin, so my snow immortal aura is much weaker than before. Long Yu saw a snow-white necklace around Concubine Yu's neck amidst the ethereal immortal chi. There were many small cracks on the necklace. It was an absolute beginning divine grade necklace. Unexpectedly, in order to help Long Yu take the 9 Serenities realm away from the Lushan clan, consort, you had made such a huge sacrifice. Even the godly absolute beginning treasure had cracks on it. However, you don't have to worry about me. Right now, I'm completely relaxed. Moreover, this is a blessing in disguise. After being thrown out by the spatial turbulence, I unexpectedly obtained some things. As for what I obtained, you'll find out in the future. Consort, you looked at Long Yu's regretful expression and suddenly giggled. She seemed to be in a good mood. A blessing in disguise? What did he get? Of course, Long Yu was puzzled and very curious. However, since Consort Yu refused to tell him, he didn't ask too much. At this time, Blood Demon Princess Red Oriole suddenly ran over and hugged Long Yu's arm. She giggled and asked, "You're still whispering to each other? We should go now." "Alright, let's go first." Consort Yu nodded her head and looked at Long Yu and Red Oriole. Her beautiful eyes revealed a meaningful smile. With regards to this, Long Yu did not want to explain any further. The two beauties before him were both much stronger than him. If he were to really say anything, he would definitely be the one being bullied. Therefore, the best thing for Long Yu to do was to remain silent. However, when Long Yu felt the alluring figure hugging his arm, he felt that it was a form of enjoyment. He looked at the Blood Demon Clan, and the eyes of the Blood Demon Clan cultivators behind Shui Luo were filled with murderous intent. Blood Demon Princess Red Oriole was the goddess in their hearts, but now she was really in a relationship with a human boy. This was absolutely heartbreaking. Although Long Yu had shown extremely strong martial arts talent and combat ability just now, the Blood Demon Clan cultivators still felt a little unbalanced in their hearts. Of course, they only felt unbalanced in their hearts for a moment. If they really asked Long Yu to put forward any opinions, they wouldn't dare to. It was not that they didn't dare to, but that they wouldn't. Because they knew that Long Yu was Shui Luo's friend, and Shui Luo was their leader. After Master Ho Zun, Master Gluttony, and Master Zilei, the 3 inspectors of the Demon Alliance, agreed, no one dared to stop Shui Luo and Long Yu. The people of the Black Scale Demon Clan and the White Feather Demon Clan could only watch them leave the field and go back to planet White Feather. They were preparing to go to the battlefield of the alien race through the teleportation array. This was going to be a very dangerous journey. On the battlefield of the alien race, death followed everyone. If they were not careful, they might even encounter a large-scale attack from the alien race. At that time, even Shui Luo couldn't guarantee that he could survive. It was dangerous, but it was also accompanied by opportunities. In the battlefield of the foreign races, there were too many existences that died without a burial place. Whether it was the human race, the demon race, or the foreign races, it was very likely that they would leave behind some treasures. These things were all cultivation resources, and if one was lucky, they could obtain very precious things. Moreover, as long as one could kill an alien tribe member on the alien tribe's battlefield, he would be rewarded by the monster clan's army on the alien tribe's battlefield. With enough merit points, he could even exchange for a divine absolute beginning realm item that matched his element. Of course, to exchange for a divine absolute beginning grade treasure with merit points, the number of alien races that they had to kill was absolutely enough to make people desperate. Even Shui Luo, the commander of the Emperor, was far from being able to exchange for a divine absolute beginning grade treasure. On the battlefield of the alien race, we have to face different opponents every year. However, in recent years, the Ice God Clan and the Fire God Clan have been more active, and they have been fiercely attacking the territory of the Demon Clan. On the way to the battlefield of the alien race, Shui Luo explained the current situation to the others. The Ice God Clan and the Fire God Clan are not too difficult to deal with. However, they also have powerful experts who have divine absolute beginning grade treasures. Their combat abilities are very terrifying. Sometimes we even need demigod experts to resist their attack. Need demigod experts? Hearing that, Long Yu was a bit surprised. In the demon clan and the human clan, the demigod realm was the strongest existence, and they would not be easily sent out to die. He didn't expect that the Ice God clan and the Fire God clan would send demigod experts to attack the demon clan. Don't get me wrong. Shueluo knew what Long Yu, Hong Jun, and the others were thinking after seeing their expressions. He smiled and said, "The demigod experts can only repel the demigod experts on the other side. It is too difficult to kill them. Every demigod expert is the pillar of the race. The death of any one of them will seriously weaken the overall strength of the race." I see. Only then did Long Yu and the others understand and nodded their heads. Outside the territory of the demon clan, we actually haven't reached the battlefield of the alien race yet. There are 3 galaxies that separate the demon clan's territory from the real battlefield of the alien race. Shueluo explained, "We are heading to the 3rd outer domain galaxy where I belong. There, I have a cultivation planet as my territory. We can rest there for a while." "Now, can you tell me what your plan is?" Concubine you had been following beside Long Yu. Now that everyone had left planet Baiyu and were halfway there, she took the opportunity to ask this question. "Yes, you can." At the mention of this, Shueluo's expression turned solemn. "Actually, my adjutant reported to me a piece of news. Near the cultivation planet under my jurisdiction, they found a space-time imprint channel. I sent a vanguard team to take a look and found out that it was actually an ancient ruin of a foreign race. Alien relic." Hearing that, Consort Yu was immediately interested. "It's an alien relic? Do you know where it is exactly?" "If it is in the territory of the alien race, we will be killed if we go there. I've found out that the alien relic is in the void of the battlefield of the alien race. In terms of distance, it is the closest to our territory." Shueluo smiled. "The key is that the alien relic is in a state of sealed spacetime. There is no other way to enter it except through the spacetime channel. My adjutant has found out that the only spacetime channel that can lead to the alien relic is the one we found. In other words, the safety can be guaranteed to the greatest extent." Consort Yu narrowed her eyes. "But do you want to explore an alien relic with just the few of us?" "Of course not. I have already gathered an exploration team. I wasn't very confident at first, but with you, Consort Yu, I am much more confident." Shueluo laughed. "So you think of me as a thug, but I am really interested in this alien relic." Consort Yu nodded and said, "Can I go?" Red Oriole asked. "If you can step into the Great Sovereign Realm within a month, you can go." Shueluo chuckled. "Without the Great Sovereign Realm, exploring the alien relic is too dangerous. It is better to cultivate in peace on my cultivation planet." Chapter 1189. Regarding the foreign race ruins, Long Yu and Red Oriole couldn't participate. What they needed the most right now was a safe place to cultivate. Especially Long Yu, there were a lot of things he had to do that he didn't have the time to do. For example, studying the death prison of the 4 symbols, finding a way to increase the quality of the Netherworld Dragon Blade, relocating all the living beings in Shen Wu World. All of these things needed to be done after the situation had stabilized. Fortunately, he soon followed Shueluo to the 3rd domain galaxy, where he would have a relatively safe cultivation environment. Of course, it was only relatively safe. Any cultivator in the 3rd domain galaxy would be assigned a mission every month, which was to go to the battlefield of the alien races to participate in the war. Whether it was to kill the foreign race, transport resources, or deliver information, the cultivator could choose for themselves. Only by completing this monthly mission would they be qualified to stay in the outer galaxy. Otherwise, they would be chased out of the outer galaxy. With the current situation where Long Yu had offended the Black Scale Beast race, the White Feather Beast race, the Golden Serpent Beast race, and the Golden Moon Beast race, if he was chased out of the outer galaxy, he would most likely die very quickly. The current Long Yu was still far from being able to go against a great demonic race. That would definitely be courting death. Long Yu, when we reach the outer galaxy, Xue Luo and I will need a month to prepare before heading to the foreign race ruins. During this month, can I borrow the 9 Underworlds prison tablet? Consort Yu walked up to Long Yu and asked in a low voice, as if she was asking for permission. Senior Consort Yu, there's no need to be so polite. If you want to study it, feel free to come. I'll also need to study the 9 Underworlds prison tablet for a while. Long Yu nodded. Now, he knew that if he wanted to comprehend the Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine Text, he only needed to enter the 9 Nether prison tablet. Therefore, as long as he had time, it would be better for him to comprehend the Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine Text inside the 9 Nether prison tablet. When Long Yu had been trapped inside the 9 Hell prison tablet, he had spent a month to comprehend 10% of the Revelation Grade 9 Hell Divine Text. However, the more he comprehended, the slower his speed became. Long Yu estimated that he would need at least 3 months to comprehend 20% of the Revelation Grade 9 Hell Divine Text, and half a year to comprehend 30%. After all, Revelation Grade Divine Text was an improved derivative of the Genesis 5 elements, so it was very difficult to comprehend. And this was because Long Yu had already comprehended the Origin Grade 9 Nether Divine Text for a long time. Otherwise, his comprehension speed would have been at least 10 times slower. Thank you very much. Consort Yu smiled. Although she was Long Yu's senior and her martial arts realm was much higher than Long Yu's, she did not use her power to oppress him. Instead, she treated Long Yu as a friend. This made the experts of the Blood Demon clan who followed Xue Luo somewhat admire her. At the same time, they also appreciated Consort Yu a little more. This feeling was similar to how Xue Luo never treated his subordinates as a leader. Instead, he treated them as friends and was very cordial. Right now, Long Yu could only rely on Xue Luo and Consort Yu in the Beyond Heavens world. Among them, Xue Luo was not particularly reliable because of his relationship with Red Oriole. Therefore, Long Yu treated Consort Yu very well. He had originally promised to let her comprehend the 9 Nether prison tablet. Although she had left the 9 Nether clan, he still had to keep his word. Originally, Long Yu had set his sights on Consort Yu and not the 9 Nether clan. Since Consort Yu was no longer the saintess of the 9 Nether clan, Long Yu naturally followed Consort Yu. The third outer domain galaxy was located outside the demon clan's territory. This galaxy blocked the way of several foreign clans, including the Ice God clan and the Fire God clan, as well as the most terrifying Soul clan. Of course, there were also other clans that frequently appeared. However, most of Xue Luo's tasks were to deal with the Ice God clan and the Fire God clan, as well as other clans that were more active at certain times. As for the Soul clan, he left them to a special clan within the foreign clan's army to deal with. That clan was rather mysterious and Xue Luo did not know much about them. He only knew that they had a great advantage in dealing with the Soul clan. They were practically the natural nemesis of the Soul clan. It was precisely because of this that the Demon clan's territory was impregnable. Whether it was the Ice God clan, the Fire God clan or the Soul clan, none of them could break through the third outer domain galaxy and invade the Demon clan's territory. Outside the Demon clan's territory, there were a total of 3 outer domain galaxies, each protecting a different part of the Demon clan's territory. The defensive line was very wide and covered almost all the gaps in the Demon clan's territory. This ensured that no foreign clans would be able to sneak into the Demon clan's territory. As for the other half of the Demon clan's territory, it was adjacent to the Human clan's territory, so there was basically no need to send too many people to defend it. This way, the Demon clan could concentrate all their forces on this half of the Demon clan's territory. Of course, this had also led to the relative peace in the Demon clan's territory. Many people had almost forgotten the terror of the foreign clans and began to fight for power in the demon clan's territory. This kind of phenomenon was exactly what the Demon Alliance was trying to prevent. Therefore, in this matter between the Black Scale Demon Clan and the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan, Great Master Ho Zun and the others, who represented the Demon Alliance, were more inclined to Long Yu's side. Because they cared about the overall situation, unlike the 4 small demon clans, who had basically never felt any threat or terror from the foreign clans. In the Third Outer Domain Galaxy, the army of the foreign clans was mainly led by a general, and Xue Luo was only a subordinate of this general. That general was a super strong demigod of the demon clan. Every extraterrestrial galaxy was supervised by a super expert in the demigod level. Otherwise, it would be very easy for unexpected situations to occur. For example, if an alien race suddenly sent a demigod expert to attack the demon race, it would be impossible to send someone to defend the demon race in time. In the Third Outer Domain Galaxy, no matter where the situation was, the demigod general could arrive as soon as possible and solve the problem quickly. Under this demigod general were 7 or 8 deputy generals, each of whom was slightly stronger than Xue Luo. Xue Luo was the commander of one of the deputy generals, Emperor. In this way, Xue Luo's level in the Third Outer Domain Galaxy was only at the 3rd level. He was not very powerful. However, when he returned to the demon clan's territory, his identity was enough to make most people feel scared. In 7 days, Long Yu, Consort Yu, and the others followed Xue Luo and teleported directly through the time-mark transmission array. They almost passed through the entire demon clan's territory from one end to the other. This was because Xue Luo used his position as the commander of the Emperor to activate the time-mark transmission array. If an ordinary cultivator wanted to travel like this, they would have to wait for the time-mark transmission array to be activated. It would be impossible for them to travel through the entire demon clan's territory in a month, let alone 7 days. It would take at least 3 or 4 months. When they finally arrived at the Third Outer Domain Galaxy, everyone was a little dizzy. Even Long Yu, who had a good understanding of the divine language of space, could not bear it. In a short period of time, they had experienced too many time-mark transmission arrays. Normal cultivators could not bear it at all. Fortunately, Long Yu's body was strong enough to endure it. They went straight to the Third Outer Domain Galaxy. The cultivation planet that Xue Luo owned was named Xue Luo Star. The cultivation planets in the Third Outer Domain Galaxy would change their names at any time. Once the owner of the cultivation planet changed, the name would be changed too. The Xue Luo Star was located in the center of the Third Outer Domain Galaxy. It was a relatively rich place. Now that they had arrived at the Xue Luo Star, they finally had a stable cultivation environment. You can rest and cultivate in peace on the Xue Luo Star. There will be no danger. Of course, unless there is a foreign invasion. Xue Luo said with a smile, but everyone, if you want to stay here, you must complete a mission every month from the foreign invasion army. You can check the details of the mission in Sky Cliff City. I will also cultivate in Sky Cliff City. Sky Cliff City was the largest city on the Xue Luo Star. There were many other cities on the Xue Luo Star. After Long Yu and the others arrived on the Xue Luo Star, Xue Luo did not restrict their freedom. They could go wherever they wanted. It was a pity that the Outer Domain Galaxy was not a place for people to live. This was because the White Feather Beast clan was under military management. If they wanted to stay, they must complete a mission every month. There were no exceptions. Because of this, the White Feather Beast clan could not come out. Long Yu had no choice but to call out like Qin Feng and like Tianlei and discuss it with them. Our clansmen can't cultivate in your small world right now, so they are a bit irritated. However, the clansmen of my faction are quite sensible. They know that this is a matter of life and death for our clan, so they won't act rashly. Since it is inconvenient for them to come out, let them stay in your small world. Like Tianlei said with a smile. I am a 5-star emperor. I am 2 levels away from becoming a lesser sovereign. When that time comes, I wonder if Senior would be willing to bring your clansmen to live in my small world. Long Yu asked tentatively, what I mean is to stay here permanently. If there are any talented juniors, they can be selected to be groomed. If we live permanently in a small world, I am afraid my clansmen will have some objections. However, I can still try to persuade them. I don't think it's a problem. After all, we have already left the White Feather Beast clan, so it doesn't matter where we live. Moreover, little brother Long Yu, you are very talented in martial arts. Maybe you can reach the demigod realm. At that time, we will live in a demigod realm expert's small world. Like Tianlei said with a laugh. Chapter 1190. Just like that, Long Yu and the rest settled down on the Xueluo planet. In order to facilitate communication, everyone temporarily stayed in Sky Cliff City. Sky Cliff City was a large city built between the mountains. In the center was the city lord's mansion, where Xueluo lived. There were many large facilities around it, such as a martial arts arena, a trading street, a training ground, etc. Most importantly, the Legion's encampment. The Legion's encampment was the Legion's encampment on the Xueluo planet. Many of the Legion's management personnel were in charge of assessing the residency status of the cultivators on the Xueluo planet. It was also the place where missions were issued once a month. Those who arrived on the Xueluo planet first had to report to the Legion's encampment and obtain a Legion order that represented their identity. The Legion order was the pass to travel and stay on the Xueluo planet, or even the entire outer galaxy. Only by completing a mission every month could one maintain the Legion order. This kind of management directly led to the majority of the cultivators in the outer domain galaxy being powerful cultivators who had experienced bloodshed. At the very least, they were existences who had been to the battlefield of the alien race. There would not be arrogant fellows like those in the demon race's territory, because in the outer galaxy, arrogance and conceit would lead to death. Therefore, the atmosphere on the Xueluo planet was completely different from the King Killer planet and White Feather planet that Long Yu had been to before. On the streets of Sky Cliff City, there was no one chatting, only figures hurrying by. Everyone here was in a hurry because time represented life. If they had the time to gossip, they might as well use it to cultivate and comprehend more powerful martial skills, so that their compatibility with combat weapons would reach a higher level. Only by spending most of their time on cultivation would they be able to survive in the outer galaxy's battlefield. Even the relatively simple monthly Legion's transport mission had an unimaginable death toll. Just on the Xueluo planet alone, at least 1/10 of the cultivators who went to the outer galaxy's battlefield would die on the battlefield, unable to return. Therefore, in the outer galaxy, if one did not have special survival techniques, it would be difficult for one to survive for more than a year. There were many demonic cultivator clans in the demonic race's territory who would send some of their more talented juniors to the outer realms for training, but most of them would only stay for 3 months. If they stayed any longer, the death rate would greatly increase, and the demonic cultivator clans would find it hard to bear. However, even if it was only 3 months of training, it was enough to make those young people who survived feel like they were reborn. Their temperament, strength, and combat experience were all improved. Hong Jun had once come to the battlefield of the foreign races to gain experience, so when Long Yu was choosing foreign race opponents in the bloody battlefield, he had given a lot of very pertinent suggestions. I'm reminded of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous clan. Red Oriole and Long Yu were walking through the streets of Skycliff City. Suddenly, Red Oriole giggled and said, "Say, if the Golden Flood Dragon Yao clan had sent their third prince to outer star regions for training, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, it's a pity that they treat the third prince like a treasure. Naturally, they wouldn't let him go to the alien battlefield and risk his life. Long Yu nodded and smiled. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked, "Right, did Wei Yuyan say anything about that longsword battle weapon? Could it be repaired?" Wei Yuyan had asked Red Oriole to release the longsword battle weapon after the matter on planet Snowplume was over. However, Long Yu had given him the unending grade longsword battle weapon he had obtained from Shiman Duantian so that he could repair it. Wei Yuyan was very interested in that, and for a moment, he did not want to come out of Red Oriole's mini-world. Wei Yuyan had been forging battle weapons for his entire life, but he had never forged an unending grade battle weapon. The most he could forge was a transcendent grade battle weapon, and that was already very lucky. Not only that, but a top-tier unending rank battle weapon was not something that could be easily seen, let alone a damaged one. If Wei Yuyan could figure out a way to repair this longsword battle weapon, then he might be able to improve his battle weapon crafting skills by leaps and bounds. This was a great opportunity for Wei Yuyan to improve himself, so he did not plan to leave for the time being. He planned to stay with Long Yu and Red Oriole and study the longsword battle weapon for a while. Of course, Red Oriole was too lazy to keep the old man in her mini-world, so she asked Xue Luo to make an army order for Wei Yuyan, allowing him to live in Sky Cliff City and be under the jurisdiction of the army. Of course, the army order was in Red Oriole's hands. Without the army order, Wei Yuyan would not be able to leave Planet Snowfall or even Sky Cliff City, so there was no need to worry about him causing trouble. On the way here, he spent 7 days in my mini-world, but made no progress. I'm afraid there's nothing he can do now. It's not that easy to repair an unending grade battle weapon. If it was that easy, Shiman Duantian would have already found someone to repair it. Red Oriole shook her head. That's true. Long Yu nodded. It seemed like it would take a long time for Wei Yuyan to repair the longsword battle weapon. On the first day in Sky Cliff City, Long Yu went to help Gu Yixian, Fengyu Xin, Shu Chan, Yen Huan, Mo Yen, and the others with the army order. Since the environment had stabilized, there was no need for them to stay in this unstable small world. Moreover, Fengyu Xin, Shu Chan, and Sunset Dance were already at the peak of the martial emperor realm. Some of them even had the cultivation of a first star monarch. If they continued to stay in the netherworld realm, there was no way for them to improve. They also needed to temper themselves. They believed that they would be able to find their place in the battlefield of the foreign races. Of course, there were dangers, but Long Yu couldn't protect them all the time. Only by experiencing danger could one truly grow. This was the rule that Long Yu had always believed in. Therefore, all the friends that Long Yu trusted in the Nine Serenities realm, including the Saint Emperor, the Demon Emperor, the Flame Emperor, and the Lay Emperor, were all sent out by Long Yu, and their respective army order was settled. Only the newly appointed Emperor Yun could only let her stay in the Nine Serenities realm and temporarily stabilize the situation. Of course, as compensation, Long Yu would also provide her with a creation item, so that she could cultivate in the Nine Serenities realm and improve her martial arts realm. Soon, Long Yu and Red Oriole walked hand in hand to the entrance of a spacious courtyard in Sky Cliff City. As soon as they opened the door, they could hear that it was very lively and noisy inside. "Ah, Brother Long, you're back, come in." A sweet voice was immediately heard, followed by a petite figure appearing in front of them. It was Liao Lele who had just come out from Shun Wu World. This girl was now Long Yu's personal pill refiner. Recently, she had been researching the method to refine the rainbow stone egg and had gained quite a bit of insight. As long as her martial arts realm improved, she should be able to give it a try. As for the other supplementary materials needed to refine the demonic heaven speed pill, they were bought by Long Yu and Red Oriole together. In Sky Cliff City, some of the pill refinement materials were relatively easy to buy, and the price was relatively cheap. Of course, it was only relatively cheap. Long Yu and Red Oriole made a trip and bought more than half of the supplementary materials needed to refine the Demonic Heaven Speed Pill, Void Speed Pill, Octane Blood Pill, and Sacred Soul Heavenly Pill. In total, they spent 80 million demon coins, and it was all paid for by Red Oriole. Long Yu didn't have any demon coins on him, so if he really had to take them out, he would have to sell a bit of the rainbow powder. However, a material like the rainbow powder would definitely be a huge loss in Sky Cliff City, and wouldn't be able to sell it for the right price, so he temporarily let Red Oriole pay for it first. And now, everyone who was in Shen Wu World had gathered in this spacious courtyard. There were more than 100 of them, including Liao Lele, celebrating the reunion of old friends. The so-called old friends were naturally Xing Fa, Dao Jingtian, as well as the Red Emperor who just came out of Consort Yu's small world. When the Dark Moon Calamity occurred in Shen Wu World, Xing Fa and Dao Jingtian were suddenly taken away, causing everyone to lose track of them. It took a long time for them to finally meet again, so they naturally had to celebrate. It had been a very long time since Long Yu had seen his eldest brother and second brother, as well as his Shifu Red Emperor back in Shen Wu World. Although they weren't at the same level anymore, they still helped Long Yu a lot back in Shen Wu World's 5 Emperors' Holy City, so Long Yu naturally wouldn't forget this. Long Yu's current strength naturally far surpassed Dao Jingtian and Xing Fa, and even surpassed the Red Emperor by a lot. But no matter what, he wouldn't forget how they helped him at the very beginning. When he was facing a powerful enemy, Dao Jingtian and Xing Fa stepped forward and helped him a lot. "Young Master Long, you're back, come in quickly," not too far behind Liao Lele. 2 women's eyes also lit up as they saw Long Yu. They were Qinya Shuang and Zi Su. Both of them were now Emperor Realm Peak, so it was very hard for them to break through in Shen Wu World, so they naturally came out with everyone else. After everyone's explanation, everyone now knew where they were and what kind of dangerous life they would have to face. But this didn't scare them away, instead it stimulated their desire to climb even higher. If anyone was afraid of dying on the battlefield of the other races, Long Yu wouldn't have let them come out. He would have just made them stay in Shen Wu World like a coward. How are the preparations for the banquet?" Long Yu smiled and asked. "It's almost done, everyone is already inside. After this banquet, there will be quite a few people planning to accept missions on the battlefield tomorrow." Chapter 1191. Very quickly, Long Yu and Red Oriole stepped into the courtyard and saw over 100 old friends gathered together. These people were all friends that Long Yu had made in Shen Wu World. Among them were the original 5 emperors of Shen Wu World: the Red Emperor, the Demon Emperor, the Flame Emperor, the Lei Emperor, the Saint Emperor, as well as their respective personal disciples. The Red Emperor's personal disciples were naturally Xing Fa, Dao Jingtian, as well as the siblings Yu Shaoyin and Yu Linfeng, as well as the short swordsman Nalin Jun. Finally, there were also Long Yu and Yu Hanxin. Only one of the Demon Emperor's personal disciples came out, and that was Black Saber. Like Yi Ziwei, he was a powerful genius with great talent in the martial Dao. He had already cultivated to the 1-star Sovereign Emperor realm through the 9 underworld sky stairway that Long Yu constructed. The Flame Emperor's personal disciple was Sikong Hui. This combatant was the same as the Demon Blade, also a 1-star emperor. After all, he had been cultivating for a longer period of time, and his talent in martial arts was already quite good. There were also 2 personal disciples of the Saint Emperor. One of them was Qi Tianming, the chief personal disciple. He had a good relationship with Xing Fa, and was currently drinking and chatting with Xing Fa, whom he hadn't seen for a long time. The other was Qi Qingxi. She was one of the personal disciples of the Saint Emperor, and she was the one that she liked the most. Moreover, she had spent the most effort to raise her. She had participated in the competition for the strongest Emperor realm together with Sikong Hui and Long Yu, but now she had also become a 1-star Emperor realm combatant. Among Lei Emperor's personal disciples, Yi Ziwei had followed consort Yu for a long time. She had also returned to visit her master whom she hadn't seen for a long time. Of course, the most important thing was to meet Long Yu. There was also Su Qiubai, who was the second personal disciple of the Thunder Emperor. He was from the Su clan's medicine shop, and the relationship between the Su clan's medicine shop and Long Yu was quite good. The main reason was that the old ancestor, who was the spirit formation grandmaster Su Chen, had helped Long Yu deal with the battle emperor, and they had become friends. Because of that, Su Qiubai, Su Jianbai, Su Ning and Su Chen, and the other combatants of the Su clan medicine hall had left Shin Wu world to explore the outer galaxies. Other than the two personal disciples who followed Lei Emperor, there was also Tong Zai. In name, she was Lei Emperor's maid, but in reality, she and Lei Emperor were husband and wife. Originally, the Thunder Emperor had wanted Tong Zai to stay in the Netherworld realm and live a peaceful life. However, she was unwilling to do so. Instead, she chose to come out and accompany the Thunder Emperor. Even if it meant going to the outer domain galaxy to carry out a dangerous mission, she did not hesitate. In her own words, "Even if we die together." These were the 5 emperors and their personal disciples. The others who came from the 5 emperors' holy city included the head butler of the Lin Merchant Company, Lin Ruizai, as well as the elders of the alliance of 5 emperors, Tian Xiang Emperor, Zhu Tian, Tan Shuya, and others. These were the elders of the alliance of 5 emperors. All of them were either 1-star emperor or 2-star emperor, and they were all very powerful. Among them, Tian Xiang Emperor had helped Long Yu a long time ago. As for Zhu Tian and Tan Shuya, they had worked together with the Spirit Formation Master Su Chen to fight against the Battle Emperor with Long Yu. Now that they had finally gotten the chance to leave Shin Wu world, they naturally wanted to see the outside world. Even Su Chen, Zhu Tian, and Tan Shuya had always wanted to go to the outside world. Now that they had the chance, they naturally wouldn't let it go. Other than these people, the rest were Long Yu's friends from a long time ago. There were Feng Yusin, Feng Xiaofei, Feng Haofeng, Feng Chang'e, and other members of the Feng family whom she had met on Heavenly Mandate Island. There were also Hong Yu, Zi Ling, Qi Yun, and other women from the Glaze Moon Palace who had followed Long Yu after the chaos in the Shura Prefecture. There were also Shu Chan's senior brothers and sisters whom she had met in the Shura Prefecture, including Shu Chan, Yu Qingsha, and Su Hanshan. There were also Shu Chan's private friends, Xing Wu, Dugu Yijian, Jia Banxian, Xiao Zhu, and Shuyan. There was also Hu Yuanbai, General Hua, the talented Mo Zhaitian, Fu Tsubing, Shi Yengu, Yen Huanma, Mo Fengming, Fu Bu Qihua, Huamer Man Xen, and others. These friends of Long Yu were at least at the peak of the Emperor realm. This was all because of the 9 Serenities sky ladder that Long Yu built, which greatly increased their cultivation speed. It could be said that almost everyone in this courtyard stood at the same starting point after coming to the outer galaxy. They were either at the peak of the Emperor realm, or at the 1-star Emperor or 2-star Emperor. There was no higher cultivation. No one knew what kind of experiences these people would have in the future. In any case, with their current martial realm and cultivation base, the most they could do every month was to pick up some supplies. If they really had to go to the battlefield and fight with the foreign races, it would be purely suicide. On the battlefield of the alien races, at least the alien races of the Emperor realm would appear. If it was an Emperor realm alien race, they would definitely appear in group. They would rarely appear alone. On the battlefield of the alien races, the ruler's secret realm could be considered as having the power to fight. Therefore, in the recent period, everyone from Shin Wu world, including Long Yu, had a goal of breaking through to the ruler's secret realm. For Long Yu, this goal was relatively close, but for the others, it was quite far away. First, Long Yu was now a 5-star emperor. He was only 2 levels away from the ruler's secret realm. Second, there were no bottlenecks between Long Yu and the ruler's secret realm. If others wanted to step into the ruler's secret realm, they would need to overcome a very big bottleneck, and that was the understanding of the power of creation. This wasn't something that could be achieved in a short period of time. Little brother Long, didn't you say that your miniature world is about to collapse? There are probably billions of living beings in there. Why didn't you send them to my miniature world earlier? Red Oriole secretly asked Long Yu with a smile. Let's wait for a while, it's too troublesome for you. After all, the Geo Dragon Emperor's miniature world is too big, and Shenwu world is also too big. There are indeed at least billions of living beings in there, perhaps even more. Long Yu said a bit awkwardly. Since the Nine Serenities realm could still hold on for a while, it was better to hold on for now. If Long Yu couldn't step into the ruler's secret realm in a month, then he would consider Red Oriole. All right. Red Oriole nodded. However, a meaningful look appeared in her beautiful eyes. When Long Yu saw this, he immediately felt a sense of unease. Could it be that Red Oriole had some kind of strange idea? Such a meaningful look, it's really hard to understand, but if Long Yu asked her what was going on now, she definitely wouldn't answer truthfully, so Long Yu gave up. Tonight's banquet could be said to be the first time Long Yu felt relaxed after coming to Beyond Heaven World, after a series of tense events. Previously, at the Star River Ancient Ruins, at the King Killer Planet, at the Beast Saint Tomb, and on planet White Feather, Long Yu had spent every moment in fear. Even when he was on the way from the Star River Ancient Ruins to the King Killer Planet, Long Yu had to constantly be on guard for any sudden danger. But now, on the Blood Fall Planet, in Heaven Cliff City, Long Yu was 100% sure that there wouldn't be any sudden danger. Even if a foreign race expert invaded the Blood Fall Planet, he would have enough time to react, so he wouldn't suddenly die. Therefore, Long Yu's mood was relatively good, and he couldn't be bothered to think about what Red Oriole's meaningful look meant. Long Yu. As Long Yu walked into the courtyard, a beautiful figure appeared in front of him. It was Yi Ziwei, who had followed Consort Yu here. Yi Ziwei followed Concubine Yu, and now she actually had the cultivation of a lower dominator, which made Long Yu rather surprised. Right now, she should have just finished visiting Thunder Emperor and Tong Zai, as well as Su Qiubai, his second senior sister, and coincidentally bumped into Long Yu. "Miss Yi, long time no see," Long Yu said with a smile. "Yes." Yi Ziwei walked up to Long Yu, a look of longing in her beautiful eyes. "I heard about your recent deeds in the demon territory. It's really much more exciting than what I've experienced. After not seeing you for so long, you're still as powerful as before. No, you're already much more powerful than before. From today onwards, we'll all stand at the same starting point in the outer galaxy. Let's all work together." Long Yu nodded his head. Without saying anything else, he had indeed thought things through very clearly. In the future, on the battlefield of the outsiders, everyone needed to work together in order to cultivate and survive. Many information could be exchanged with each other to increase their chances of survival. Yes. Yi Ziwei nodded cutely. She suddenly blushed and changed the topic. "I also heard that you said your senior consort Yu's disciple, and that you're Zhuo Banyan's fiancé. Ahem, that kid Qingfeng must have told you that?" Long Yu immediately coughed and shook his head. "I was just spouting nonsense. The situation was urgent, so I could only say some nonsense to divert her attention. Well, Zhuo Banyan is indeed a beauty. Moreover, her master, Chang Xia's sword, is definitely among the top 3 in the Lushan clan's hidden sword department." Yi Ziwei covered her mouth and giggled. "It would be great if I could marry her. Don't make fun of me. I've only met Zhuo Banyan once or twice. Moreover, I'm in the outer galaxy now. I'm afraid I won't have much to do with her in the future." Long Yu shook his head and smiled. He then narrowed his eyes and asked, "What about you? Have you taken a fancy to any handsome guy? Anyone who catches your eye is quite lucky." "Nonsense. Cultivating in the outer galaxy is the most important thing right now. Why would I have time to think about anything else? Yi Ziwei giggled and directly pushed the topic of Long Yu away. Yes. Long Yu also nodded his head. It was rare for him to be able to relax now. However, it was only during the banquet. Tomorrow morning, he would have to once again immerse himself in his intense training. Chapter 1192. Third Outer Domain Star River, Bloodfall Star, Sky Cliff City. After the banquet, everyone dispersed and returned to their respective residences. Everyone was looking forward to the future, including Long Yu. Long Yu was alone in a room in the courtyard. He was going to rest for a while and plan his next cultivation. If Long Yu wanted to improve his strength, he had to do the following. First, he had to refine the rainbow stone egg and rainbow crystal powder into heaven-defying pills. Taking the 8 extremities blood pill, void elemental pill, and devil sky elemental pill would give birth to the 8 extremities bloodline in his body. Furthermore, his compatibility with the space godly text and shadow godly text would increase by a large margin. Second, he had to continue to enter the 9 serenities prison steel and comprehend more revelation level 9 serenities godly text. However, this would take a long time and could not be done in a short period of time. Third, he had to find a way to obtain enough creations and heaven and earth spiritual chi. That way, Long Yu could quickly improve the martial Tao secret arts he cultivated and strengthen his foundation. In this regard, Long Yu's balanced control had already reached the 8th layer, while his purified world physique had reached the 6th layer. If he wanted to improve these 2 attributes, he would need a lot of creation items. Additionally, there was also the Devil Dust Heart, which had only reached the 1st layer. It required a large amount of heaven and earth spiritual chi to improve. As for the 3rd layer of the secret technique of lightning fire, it wasn't very important to Long Yu. This was because it increased the power of lightning and fire attribute divine runes. Long Yu basically didn't rely on these 2 attributes to fight. Fourth, he had to improve his weapons. He could familiarize himself with the power of the Dragon Bone Ancient Tower, a top-grade endless-level weapon. He could also try to improve his compatibility with the Duankong Sacred Spring and the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram. Lastly, he had to find a way to improve the quality of the Void Dragon Blade. The Void Dragon Blade was only an ancient-level battle weapon. Although it had some special abilities, such as the ability to travel through the void, its quality was still too low. If possible, Long Yu naturally wanted to upgrade it. After all, this was his first unparalleled battle weapon, and it had already given birth to a consciousness. The 5th was to comprehend more of the ancient gods' forbidden techniques, the killing hell of the 4 elements. However, this was very difficult, and it was not something that Long Yu could comprehend whenever he wanted to. It would depend on luck and opportunity. The most important thing right now is to reach the sovereign mystic realm first. Everything else can be put aside for now. Only by entering the sovereign mystic realm can my inner world be transformed into a small world, giving birth to the power of creation and continuously creating the spiritual energy of heaven and earth so that the people in the 9 serenities realm can have a place to live. Long Yu made up his mind, so there was no need to think about what to do next. First, he would go to the battlefield of the foreign races and complete the monthly Battle Legion mission. After obtaining the rewards, he would be able to exchange for some creation items to help him improve his martial Tao. At the same time, if Long Yu encountered the foreign races while completing the Battle Legion mission, he would be able to have a good battle and improve the level of the Berserker Heavenly Body's endless-level martial skill. It was worth mentioning that Long Yu had brought all the Peak Emperor Realm experts out of the 9 Serenities realm and taught them the Berserker Heavenly Body's endless-level martial skill. At the very least, they would be able to cultivate it to the same level as Long Yu, which was the minor completion level. This martial skill was obtained by Long Yu from the Bone Race's survivors. Among the survivors of the Bone Race, there were many ancient human race and monster race martial skills and divine formations, which were very precious. If there were no accidents, Long Yu would be able to obtain a copy every year, which would have a great effect on the improvement of the strength of Long Yu and the people around him. It's impossible to improve by staying in the Heaven Cliff City, so I can only take the initiative to seek battle to improve. Once a month is not enough. Long Yu thought in his heart, planning for the future. The Battle Legion mission of the foreign races wasn't something that everyone could only accept once a month. Once a month was the minimum. If one didn't do it once a month, they would be driven out of the outer domain Star River. However, if someone wanted to do the Battle Legion mission frequently, the Battle Legion mission would definitely welcome them. The more Battle Legion missions one completed, the more battle merit points one would obtain, and the better things one could exchange for in the Battle Legion mission. For Long Yu, this could be considered a channel for cultivation resources. With Long Yu's current means, the most suitable thing for him to do was to investigate. Just like when he was in the holy city of the 5 emperors, he had the Book of Shadows. If he wanted to escape, unless it was a great ruler on the level of Master Hozun, Shueluo, or Consort Yu, no one would be able to catch him. Since that's the case, I'll have to see if there are any missions I can accept tomorrow. If there are, I'll directly accept and prepare to complete them, Long Yu thought in his heart, wondering if he was being a little too hasty. However, time was too tight for him, so being hasty was inevitable. If the mission was simple, Long Yu could lend the 9 underworld prison steel to Consort Yu for a month before leaving. Perhaps she would learn something from it. Long Yu studied the 9 underworld prison steel because he controlled the Jiyo Dragon Emperor's 9 underworld imprint. Therefore, he was able to gradually copy the Jiyo Dragon Emperor's understanding and comprehension of the 9 underworld prison steel. If it was Consort Yu, perhaps she would be able to comprehend something from it. No one could say for sure. If Long Yu went to the battlefield to complete a mission, bringing the 9 underworld prison steel would be useless. In any case, he couldn't use it as a shield like before. This was because the situation on the battlefield was constantly changing. Once the 9 underworld prison steel erupted, even if Long Yu hid inside the 9 underworld prison steel, when he came out, no one knew what would happen outside. It was very likely that he would be surrounded by a large group of foreign race experts. Therefore, if he encountered any danger, he could just use the Book of Shadows to escape. There was no need to take out the 9 underworld prison steel. Because of this, it was fine to lend it to Consort Yu for a month. Consort Yu would go with Shueluo to a foreign race ancient site in a month's time. It would be very dangerous. If she could comprehend something from the 9 underworld prison steel during this time, it would increase her chances of success. After making these decisions, Long Yu prepared to rest. To be honest, he hadn't had a good rest for a long time. Although with his current cultivation level, it wouldn't matter even if he didn't sleep for a year, but if he slept, his energy would be much better. It was still beneficial to a cultivator. Before this, Long Yu hadn't had a good place to rest. Now that he was here, he finally had a chance to rest. In Sky Cliff City, night fell and time passed. Suddenly, Long Yu woke up from his deep sleep because he felt as if someone had entered his room. "Who is it?" Long Yu subconsciously asked. At the same time, he prepared to use his divine ability. However, he didn't get an answer. He only felt a hot and warm body suddenly burrowing into his bed, causing him to be stunned. Red Oriole? Long Yu felt a familiar aura from the other party and recognized her immediately. However, at this moment, Long Yu's heart collapsed. This blood demon race's first princess actually burrowed into his bed in the middle of the night. Long Yu wasn't a 3-year-old child. He naturally knew what the other party was thinking by burrowing into his bed at this time. However, he found it hard to believe. did this blood demon princess really like him? According to Red Lord, this sister of his had a lot of tricks up her sleeve. This blood demon princess, was she here to mess with him? Shoo! Red Oriole let out a soft sound, and then her body in the bed stuck close to Long Yu. Don't think too much at this time. Long Yu was speechless. In this situation, how could he not think too much? However, Red Oriole didn't give him any chance to defend or resist. Even if Long Yu wanted to resist, how could he resist? The other party was an upper dominator level expert. Moreover, she was an existence that could fight with ordinary great dominator level experts. Long Yu didn't have the ability to resist even if he wanted to. Probably no one would have thought that the princess of the Blood Demon clan would suddenly crawl into Long Yu's bed and do some weird things at such a moment. If it were anyone else, they would have been overjoyed by such a good thing that came knocking on their door. Only Long Yu was still hesitating at this time because he really didn't know if this Red Oriole was really interested in him or if she just wanted to mess with him. If it was the latter, wouldn't he lose a lot of face if he just compromised like this? Hey, what are you thinking? Red Oriole flipped over and pressed down on Long Yu's body, hatefully asking. In the darkness, he couldn't see her appearance or expression, but Long Yu could smell the faint fragrance coming from her body. It was an irresistible allure. I'm thinking, what if you play with me? Long Yu said in bewilderment. If I want to play with you, can you resist? Red Oriole giggled. If I don't play with you earlier, I'm afraid you'll be played by someone else. Didn't you see how those girls looked at you at the banquet just now? What she said was the truth. Long Yu himself was very clear that there were many girls who came out of Shen Wu world, and many of them liked him, but he never accepted them. Right now, he obviously didn't want to accept Red Oriole, but in Red Oriole's words, could he resist? Moreover, this blood demon princess was indeed very cute. If Long Yu didn't have any reaction when she burrowed into his bed, he wouldn't be a man. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.